Ay, this ain't a drill. Only time I playing is on the field. And when I'm on the field, no, I got mad skills. And you know we bout to eat this a fast meal. Y'all gotta pay for this heat like a gas bill. We keep on coming back, so yeah, they mad still. 716 make them pay with some bad bills. Red, white, and blue like Superman, so you know we eating at the Super Bowl. Kill the competition, set up the funeral. Josh Allen catching all the shots you go for. We callin' blitz. Ready to start, we ain't calling no quits. I'm the #1 draft pick. A lot of y'all talk, but I ain't hearing it. Only listen to Keyshawn and niggas talk about the Bills dominating on the field. All our players got them skills. Buffalo gon' make a kill when we talk about the Bills dominating on the field, and our players got them skills. Buffalo gon' make a kill.
What's going on? Welcome back to another live episode of the Post Podium Podcast, home of the all truth, no sodium takes. I am your co-host, Aramis.
Before I say my name, I want to say this is a day. This is the day it was redeemed today.
Really?
Yeah.
Valentine's Day.
That too.
Oh,
but no.
Okay. All right. My bad.
So you remember I told you how I needed that certain guard to get the hair follicles.
You got it.
Well,
Oh,
it came with a lot of work. So it was almost Amazon count your days.
what?
Yeah, because it didn't come, but it said it was here, and I'm like, all right, cool. Where's here?
You had to track the folk down.
Well, it said it's at the mailbox, the community mailbox. I said, okay, cool. I'm gonna go. Well, you know what, T? How does this work? She said, you should have a tracking number. I said, okay, cool. What is it? She said, what? You tell me. I said, I don't know. So so we go back and forth. She said, you might want to contact Amazon. I said, I'm at work, so let me chat them. So after explaining my situation, she's like, you know what? It shows that it was delivered and picked up, so you're not eligible for a refund or reimbursement or replacement. And since everything is all set, have a good day. I said, oh, ho, ho, you are lucky I ain't call you. Yeah. Yeah.
That ain't right. That ain't right.
That's an Ayo. That's a pause. That's all that.
Yeah, it's everything all at the same time.
And so, I the last 3 days I'm going back and forth, looking in the old building, my building. Where could it be? So, let me just try my old apartment. So I went over, knocked on the door, no answer. But I had a sticky note. I left it on the door.
Okay.
Guy called me back. Thank God for the city of neighbors.
Wow.
He said, are you Keyshawn? I said, yeah. He said, I got your package, man. I said, yeah, I'll be right over. He said, you local? I said, local? I'm right next door. I'll be right over there. So, long story, the long-winded version is saying my name is 40 Scruff Keys, and it's almost over with. The Scruff Keys is almost gone.
I mean, like, for real, you be using 1.5 for that too?
No,
Oh.
this go. But see, when you got no motivation to do this when you can't
That's
get this.
so true. That's so true.
I'm wearing hats at the
Yeah.
airport. I'm like, this is weird. I look like Marvin Gaye because I had the beanie that didn't cover my ears.
Yeah.
I was like the and it's Black History Month.
Sometimes all you got is to just edge it up and just hope.
I edged it, but I just didn't feel right. But I got to have a fade because my head is a weird shape. So You gotta know that about yourself.
I don't know why you say that. Why is your head a weird shape?
Because it's like kind of round but flat here. You don't have that knot. It's strange. But my mom would say you got a cute shape. No, I don't. It's an usher, but a cone, egg, almond
that's
head.
a mama's job right there.
To pump you up.
Right.
So the world can tear you down. Mm-hmm. Thanks, Mom. Why I don't look right? So so 40 Scrub Keys days are numbered.
Okay. Listen. I'm all for it, right? Like I'm halfway through a barber's license. I still got I think like 225 more hours or something like that left. I'll get that done at some point in life.
So everybody on the chat, you know where to go. He needs it's 500 of y'all, 30 minutes each. We in there.
I've been cutting since I was like 16, 16. I started on myself and started cutting everybody else's.
I'm saying we got 500 plus.
Roy said you got the dented egghead.
Yeah, the dented egghead. That's descriptive.
He don't listen to him. Don't.
Yeah.
You know what? Just
got the hot dog neck.
You just want the world to feel sorry for you.
I got the hot dog neck. What can I say?
The hot dog.
Yeah,
neck.
you look up and that joint folds up on you. Nah. So
The back of your neck look like a pack of hot dogs.
the back of my neck looks like and speaking of hot dogs, this is the last week of my diet.
Really?
Last week, man, home stretch.
You almost there.
I'm almost there, and you
You almost hungry.
You know what? I actually went home last night and enjoyed some sweet potatoes. I don't eat fruit, and I don't eat vegetables like that.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I tore them things down. I said, this is the best thing ever. I had a rasp orange, which is a raspberry orange hybrid, which is probably not even on the diet. Oh, yeah. You open it up, it look all wrong, but it's so right.
You said it's all wrong.
It's all wrong. You open it up, it's red.
Is that even healthy? Is that right?
I don't think it's right, but what is these days? But it was, it was exciting. I have a pack of them. Man, 3 a.m, nothing like it.
Sweat, I got you. He said I have to remember that when I come home. I'll have to contact you for a cut.
That's
got you,
it.
bro. I got you. I got a barber chair in my basement. I do. I got I got a table. I got a pretty decent setup. It ain't it ain't the best, but
hey, we all been
for
to
my
the,
dollar.
We all been to the hood barber in Buffalo. We know the deal.
Well, they ain't got a barber chair like that in their basement.
Yeah, but well,
I got like a real barber chair in my basement.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. I'm talking about like the actual barber shop.
Oh,
they, you go in the corner, Bailey and whatever, and they all talking about football. Everything's wrong, but they argue all day long, arguing. Patrick Mahomes, when he played for the 49ers. What? Yeah.
Yep. They be
you were
doing
there
it all the time.
And did you see Patrick Mahomes' dad got into a squabble with who was that loser baseball player that they were throwing? John Rocker.
What?
Yeah, they almost had a street fight in New Orleans.
Why? Because John Rocker told him his son is a loser?
Who knew? I hope he didn't. Because he's looking in the mirror. 1 finger points at you, 3 fingers point back at yourself. If you told Patrick Mahomes Sr. he's a loser, one, he played baseball like you. He probably had a longer career than you. And so you're a double loser because your kid ain't spit. I don't even know who he is, but I know he ain't Patrick Mahomes. And I know that's hard to say in Buffalo, but we know the truth. And he almost fought him with a square in his fingers. He had to black him out. You don't mess with a man with black him out in the middle of Bourbon Street. He looking for the squabble.
Roy said, sounds like a horror movie. I got a barber chair in my basement.
It is.
Of course.
Roy's back.
Hello, Clarice.
And on slightly serious news, I need your help on this because I don't know this, so you can pop in. We got 580 plus subscribers on this thing here.
Bro, let's go.
Let's go. Well, what I want us to do is move over to Facebook and boost that number so you can get the streaming on Facebook.
They will not let us do it. Like, we're at what, 90, 95, 96 on Facebook or something like that?
You know better than me.
Check right now. I'm finna check right now.
You finna do it, yeah.
How dare they let us be just unable to do stuff on Facebook? How dare they? Yeah, no, but in all seriousness, okay, so we're at 95. So we need 5 more followers.
5 more people. We
can get 5 more. We'll be able to stream on Facebook.
We got 9 watching now. Roy doesn't like fantasy football, so he doesn't probably have Facebook, so he's not going to do it. But
we don't talk about fantasy baseball.
We don't. We want a forum. We're trying to make a big forum here. That's all we're trying to do. So, hop on, and when we start getting people to migrate and network, it's going to be a time. It's going to be a good time.
Yeah. That's the name of the game. That's the name of the game.
It is.
Laura says, Happy Valentine's Day, all.
Oh, yeah, and also, we're both here by ourselves.
Yeah.
But we don't live by ourselves. So pop them numbers up. At least the likes. Just give me a like.
Oh, yeah.
Give me a like. Because, we here, we might not have a home to go to when we get out of here.
Why you say that?
It's Valentine's Day. We might not have a home to go to.
No, So we both have children, right? Yeah. So that's kind of the buffer right there. Because unless you set something up for them to be gone, what are we really going to do on Valentine's? Like, so on Valentine's Day, I usually try to find some sort of way to surprise my wife with something, right? So today I came in the house and I had like a real big teddy bear with a big old nice, red heart in the middle, and it's pretty well done. You know what I'm saying? And she was in the office. Which is, so when you come in our door, the kitchen is to the right once you go through the doorway, and then you got to kind of go L shape around the corner to get to the office. And that's where she was. And so she heard that I came in, and so, so I just popped the teddy bear around the corner of the fridge because the fridge is like right there. So she only saw the teddy bear when she came into the kitchen, right? And she goes, she's like, oh,
that's her. Oh,
you're right. Just a cute little oh, right? So so I got her a few things. I got her what's known as the teacher's assistant starter pack, right?
Okay.
Which is some chocolate for those times you want to cry, right? Because she teaches first graders. So her days are long.
Yep.
Very, very, very long. So little, some chocolate in case you feel like crying, right? I got her some aspirin, right? I got her, what else did I get her? I got her some chips.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying? Because, they
you just need to snack.
Yeah.
You know
what I'm saying? Right. You get stressed out, you got a little,
munch.
you know what I'm saying? Got a little something, right? And then I got her some cold and flu meds because them kids be coming in dirty.
Be coughing, they be hacking
all the time. You got man.
Yep.
You know. And then I got her, a card to cheer her up. She can keep it in her purse. You know what I'm saying? She kind of having a rough day or something like that. Pop that bad boy. All right, now I'm back to business.
But so you could have just taken some water, sprinkled it on this. It's like, oh, I cried on this card. I don't remember that, but okay.
I should do that too. Be
do
like,
that,
see,
but,
this cheered you up. Here's the water stains right here.
There you go. I was pre-made.
Pre-made.
It's
Yo,
pre-made.
what if we got to start making cards like that for the fellas, right?
Post-podium podcast.
Post-podium podcast Valentine's Day cards with the pre-water stains on
That's
it. So that
like,
we can tell. You don't, baby, you cried when I gave you this
remember
card.
this?
Here, this the stains right here.
I thought you had a memory. I thought you remembered stuff.
Single-handedly ruining relationships across
All
America.
across the world. That's what we aim to do. See, the thing with me is I can't do any of that stuff because I went to look at the teddy bears. I was like, man, all these things ugly. And the candy. We're on the Whole30 diet. Can't eat that.
Yeah.
Can't go to dinner because you can't eat half the stuff they put in their food.
True.
So he's on the couch like, man, I'm just angry. I'm like, well, you can be angry. I'll be back. But cool off before I get in.
So do you guys have like a celebratory dinner set up? Like, like end of
No, she's going to keep going. And I told myself foolishly, this is me being ambitious. I said, you know what? I got on the treadmill and I actually survived for a day. I said, I'm not going to have another drink of liquor until I run 2 miles.
What?
So that's probably for the next year or so. I'm probably good.
There's no way, bro.
Yeah.
There's no way you making it.
You're going to see me foot working. You're going to see me foot working. You go like, yo, what's wrong with Keith? He was on the treadmill. He got 1.8. He said he was so close. He just kept saying, almost there. I don't know what he's talking about.
Yo, the next like 3 episodes is gonna go by, and then you gonna get to the 4th one, and people gonna be like, why is Keyshawn sitting sideways? Oh no, that's really him facing the front way.
Yeah.
Yo, he dude cut like 600 pounds.
Yep. 600-pound life, doctor now.
Wow.
Yeah, it's gonna be bad.
Wow.
I mean, I'm already at my limit. I only want to be under 270. I think I'm about there. So.
Oh wow.
I'm worried.
Wow.
If they start calling me little man again in the gym, we're gonna be squabbling.
Yeah, see that's one thing I didn't like. You remember when I lost all that weight, right? I was down to like the lowest I got was 229.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't like I could feel, I felt more energy and all that kind of, but like every time I look in the mirror, like my head look big and my body look small. Like I don't like that.
Everybody, are you sick?
Yeah,
Like,
you know what I'm saying? Like I don't want that.
I don't want that. You gotta try to find out that area.
But the crazy part is, for me to really get down to the weight I'm supposed to be at, I'm supposed to be at like 180 for my height.
Yo, I'm just like 210. Yeah. What are you talking about?
Exactly. So at 40, like I can cut the weight. That's not a big deal. But building the muscle after that at 40, they don't recommend you do that anyway.
That's another struggle.
Right. So like I'll probably be able to build a little bit of muscle. Like my goal back then was to get down to, I wanted to be at 215, but I wanted that 215 to be like muscle.
Good.
You know what I'm saying? Which means I would have had to have gotten down to like 200 and then build up 15 pounds of muscle.
That's been a struggle.
Right. I'm like, what? I could just eat some pancakes every day and get
pancakes, baby. Remember you see those TV dinners? The family meals I used to eat, try to gain weight. When I was 260, I said, yo, let me just hold this.
Exactly.
I feel heaviness in my, I can't go to the bathroom yet. I got to get on the scale first to see where I am.
Yo, before I get to Roy's comment, I want to thank Mark. He said, I just liked you guys from 3 accounts on Facebook. You should only be 2 away now. Appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Roy said, I've never had Facebook or Twitter or any other social media stuff.
Roy, you thought I was being funny? I feel like I know you now. I feel like I really know. I feel like I've reached out and shook your hand before, Roy. I really do. So I was confident that you hadn't had none of those by the responses you put in this chat.
That's crazy. That is crazy. You called it, bro. You did call it.
And the funny thing about this is he also put teacher starter pack in the 70s include ruler, butt whooper, a leather glove and rope. Mom, you were a teacher in the 70s. What is the leather glove and rope for? I'm curiously, but I'm scared.
Yeah, leather glove and rope.
That's like to hide evidence or something. I don't know what that rope is all about. They must tied you up, tied you to your chair
and rope.
If you kept getting up, you had to have gotten tied to your chair.
Is that what they slapped you with?
Nah, that's what the butt was. My mom had the one with the holes in it for wind resistance. Yeah.
It made a whistle sound.
It whistled. She was like, "Woo! I want to try this again." I said, "Ma, you can't no more. They outlawed that. You can't."
Laura said, "Cold and flu meds for V-Day. Let's try again next year."
No, it's essential. It's essential. I'm telling you.
And listen, it was a starter pack. I'm just saying. Just saying. No, that part was the gimmick. But I got her. I got her some nice lint. What is the Lindor truffles?
Mm-hmm.
I got her a nice big old heart shaped joint of those. I got her a card. I got her. I got her the bear, and it, like the bag was dope though. It was like this pearlescent white, like this eggshell white type of color with like these gold hearts on it and all that kind of stuff. And then I picked the bright red paper to go on the inside. Like I'm the bag dude. I don't wrap no presents.
I don't know how to wrap.
I will never even try to wrap a present.
Calamity. If I ever wrap any calamity.
It's good.
Matter of fact, if we get to 600 subs, I will personally buy somebody an item they're choosing off our store, and I'm gonna wrap it.
Oh, you heard it here first. You heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen. Mm-hmm. I love that. I'm with it. Let's make it happen. Make it happen.
Number 16, Mission 600. Mission 600.
There you go.
600. Whoever that is, you get a bought item from me.
We did it for what? 500?
500.
That's right. We did.
And
all right, listen.
That just, I mean, we're at like 586 right now. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
Man.
I listen, I'm so appreciative.
Appreciative. He worked me over in the back pretty good. Said I can't say it's his show anymore, but it's his
not
show.
allowed to.
It's his show. This is his brainchild.
No.
All I am
is
an extra guy.
I've done one show of the Post Podium podcast by myself, and it was cool because I was able to talk to the folk, but it didn't. I haven't done one since. It don't feel right.
You won't be doing many of those by yourself. I was like, yeah, the third show probably get me kicked out the house.
Well, two now. So quick announcement. Announcement while we're here. This is gonna be the last Friday show of the off season, right? So we're gonna do Monday shows. And then, so here's another announcement. I might as well while we're talking about the schedule. So we have signed a deal with Buffalo Media Network. My guys TD and Sterling over there. Ian and I forgive me, other guy. I forgot your name.
Distinguished gentleman number 4.
Let me look it up so I'm not disrespecting anybody. But yeah, so we're gonna be doing a show separate from our channel on their network that you can only catch on their network. But I promise you, it's gonna be just as dope, if not better. Because I really love the guys over there, and I want to see what they're building and grow, and I want to be a part of that. So, if you guys want to check that out, we haven't finalized when it's gonna air and all that kind of stuff yet, but I will be making that announcement on. I'll put something out Tuesday because I got to meet with him on Monday. So let me just. So
a long way of saying you'll still see us twice a week.
Yes,
but you have to trust us on this. We'll get over it. We'll get there and here and everywhere.
Right.
While you're looking it up, Roy can clarify the leather glove was in case the ruler broke. The rope or twine was to tie 2 kids' wrists together so they didn't get along in class. Okay, so basically. The teacher didn't want to get a splinter.
Was this a Catholic school?
I don't know what this was the 70s. This is anything
and
goes.
What kind of rulers was they using when they were at that work?
Well, we had those little wooden rulers.
They had to worry about splinters on rulers?
Yeah, you know those wooden ones. You remember those? Oh man, you remember you used to crack down the middle? It had a little butt piece in the middle, the little ravine. It was like it was like the centimeters on one side, inches on the other side, and like the middle piece had the holes in it, but it was like that little dip.
Yeah.
That thing split all the time. They were shiny. Them things suck. You couldn't read the numbers no more.
Didn't they have like the little metal razor piece on the end?
On the one side.
Right.
It was on the one side. But sometimes we used to have rulers. Okay, this is Buffalo Public School. Sometimes we ain't had a whole ruler either.
This is starting to get bad. Like the board of education is gonna sue us.
But this is retroactive though. This is a statute. We can talk about it. We're a product of this from the 90s. So remember they used to have the metal piece. We had to dig through the bucket to get to the ruler that actually had all the numbers on it.
Yep.
This is what we went through. So that's why when they say, "Yo, I don't know nothing," it's not our fault. I just didn't get to see the rest of the story on that ruler. I just got to 8. I know what 8 inches look like, and then 9 and 10 and 11 is a mystery.
I don't think I've ever gotten hit with the ruler. My worst in school memory was, man, I don't think it was my birthday, but I know my mom. Oh no, it was supposed to be I'm serious. It was supposed to be a birthday celebration. My mom brought cupcakes,
Mm-hmm.
and I guess I was acting spoiled or something like that. I did something wrong, and my mom in front of the whole class put me over her knee and spanked my behind in front of everybody.
Nope.
In front of everybody, bro.
Yeah, I wouldn't have it.
I don't know how I survived after that. I don't. It's probably why I have no shame now.
You was mad quiet in school
I
after
don't
that.
care what people think. But no.
My mom had to work for it. I was never just gonna lay across her. No, it wasn't gonna happen. We had to squabble, and that's why I called it worse. Because she just got me wherever she could. Because I was doing all this stuff. I was moving, trying to get free.
Well, you was Gumby back then, too.
Man, I was real Gumby. Man. But it always kind of put you in the end.
You're right. That's true.
Did you see what Spin said?
Yeah, who's going to be the one to get Aramis on the tangent today? It's probably still you, Spin. Probably still you. I know that's what you be hunting for. You just want to see steam popping out my ears. That's all you live for. Roy said, oh, okay, so Roy said, yeah, the leather glove. Spin says metal piece in the wood in the wood ruler goes along the length of it.
Oh, yeah. The long
correct,
side.
yes.
Yep.
So that, like, I used to have sword battles with those. Here, take this one. Come on.
You actually could.
Yeah, absolutely. And it never hurt anything because they weren't really sharp or nothing like that.
We were weird, so it didn't matter.
Yeah,
Probably did.
absolutely.
We probably got cuts on our body now. Where'd that come from? That little middle piece.
Man, what's the worst in school injury you ever got?
Which one you want? Let's see. The worst in school was my first. I broke my nose in school.
Dang.
I didn't know it for 4 years though.
What?
Yeah, I actually found out I broke my nose during a ear exam.
No, just like this. What's going on,
it's pushed up. So like too close, you hear a whistle. That's why. That's why. So, I'll run a little bit.
You wore glasses too?
Huh?
You wore glasses too?
I did have, but I didn't have them on though.
You'd be like,
Had the little piece right there, the little imprint. I was like, they were like, did you ever break your nose? I said, no. They're like, let me ask you again, you ever break your nose? No. They said, you broke your nose. I said, what? They're like, your septum is doing this here. I said, is it not supposed to? They're like, no, it's pushed up. And then when I got the concussion, that was my first concussion was in school. I took a head to the eye, and it just, the next thing I know, I'm sitting there, my eyes leaking. I thought like the girls would see this. I said, I want the girls to see this. And I was mad because it was a Friday because I had to go to the doctors, right? Because they had to actually crack my orbital. So,
dang.
Yeah, it was. I still got the scar on my eye.
What was you doing in school, dude? You busted your knee? You broke your
elbow? Well, the knee was on rec ball. That was rec ball. I wasn't even during season. Okay. That was me practicing for season.
Yeah. But the elbow was in school.
Elbow was not in school.
Elbow was not in school.
Elbow was playing outside football.
Jeez.
Dude tackled me. I didn't see it.
See, I never knew enough people back then to do something like that.
Yeah.
I mean, it probably could have been me at some point. The worst. What's the worst out of school injury I ever had? The worst out of school injury. So all right, this is a real stupid story. Real quick, by the way, Nico says, I love how you guys tackle the real issues of this world.
Of course.
Somebody's got to do it.
Yeah.
So my worst out of school injury was, okay, so I wasn't supposed to go outside.
It always starts like that.
But I wanted to ride my bike. And the end of the story is the police got called. Okay, so I called my boy Dre at the time. I was like, yo, you want to go ride some bikes? He was like, all right, cool. Where we going to go? I said, we can just go ride around Delaware, you know what I'm saying, see what's going on down there. So we riding around Delaware, and at this point, I thought I had mastered riding without holding the handlebars. I was about to say I had mastered. I thought I had mastered riding with riding without holding the handlebars, right? So we riding around Delaware, slowed down a little bit too much. Front wheel twists to the side. I flip over the front of that joint. I got scratches on scratches on scratches on scratches on scratches all over my body, to the point where I had to hurry up and get home because there's no way I was going to be able to explain all these scars and scratches. I had scratches on my nose. I was all tore up, right? So I get home and and I just had my boy Dre just like squirt mad peroxide on me to just clean it up real quick. I knew that much. You know, you're supposed to put peroxide on it. So I went in the tub and I just had him like spray me with a bunch of peroxide. So, so my mom gets home. He left already, right? My mom gets home and she's just like, "What happened?" And I came up with the genius plan on the way home. Like I'm walking my bike home. I didn't sit on my bike at all at that point. I was too mad. So I walked my bike home. And as I'm walking my bike home, I was like, I know exactly what to tell my mom. So my mom sees me. What happened? Mama, I got hit by a car. Mama, I got hit by a car. You what? Oh my God! Did you see what kind of car it was? Did you get? It was a blue car. It was kind of like the same color car that you have, you know, like that dark blue, like a navy. Yeah, like a navy, right? Did you see any of the license plate? I think so. It had like a M and a V and a 7, I think. MV and then a 7. Like I didn't, So she called the cops. Gave him the description of the car, gave him the numbers on the license plate. I didn't hear nothing after that. So a couple days go by, and she happened to be taking me and my boy Dre. We was like brothers back then. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like I used to go over his house, hang out, same thing. So we getting ready to go do some shopping. So we get in the car. She closes the door. But she don't start the car. She turns to us. She starts with me first. She says, the police called me back, and they said they could not find the car that you described. They said that there was no plate in the database with an M and a V and a 7 that matches that description of car. So I need you to tell me if you remember anything else about this car. I thought about it for a minute, and I said, no, I can't remember anything. And it was genius, because at that point, it worked. The car got away, because there was no car, and it was just going to be this never-ending mystery of this hit and run that I lived through, right?
You made a hit and run. How old were you?
I was 10,
very good.
11.
Very good.
Somewhere around there. I was pretty young. So my boy Dre is sitting in the back seat, right? So she's like, so the color of the car again. You sure it was blue? It blue, like the color of this car. Right? I'll never forget it. My boy Dre was like, it looked black to me.
It's like, all right, so now I got to go back to this. I got to start all over again.
Bruh, you got to be kidding me. It looked black to me. Do you not know what's going on right now?
Right. I'm trying to lie. You're messing this up for me. You really messing this up for me right now. I'm trying to lie. I'm trying my hardest to get away with some stuff I'm not supposed to get away with. I'm 10. I almost died that day. Got hit by a Crown Vic in 1993. You know how big those things are, how small I am? I'm not supposed to be sitting here telling this story right now.
Oh my gosh. So she kind of dropped it after that because she realized she wasn't gonna get nothing out of us. But I gave him the grimiest look. I was trying to give him a grimy look without my mom seeing too. I was shut up. Oh my gosh. Yeah. So that was my worst out of school injury. We got a couple of comments here.
I'd like to see injuries too. Let's see what we got. What you go ahead? What you got?
Wait, who?
You said you got a couple of comments. I didn't know if you had one you were about to bring up.
Roy said I did lots of bad things in school. He also says, luckily I was kind of seeing the county sheriff's daughter. So, oh snap! See, that's the cheat code you need, man.
That is a cheat code.
You get to a place, man. Where the sheriff's daughter at?
Right, you get in good with him, like yeah.
What's going on, Thomas? He says clocking in late, but I'm here to gonna rewind to catch up. But what up, fellas?
Yes, sir.
Steve, what's going on, my man? I ain't heard from you in a while. He says I'm an old man and my throttle on my mini bike stuck, and I drove through a 10-foot hedge, all cut up and bloody. My mother introduced me to What is that?
Well, that's that Bernie stuff I heard about.
Really?
Yeah.
I never heard of that stuff.
Back in the day, Bernie's. Well, okay, I can tell because I can double down on Steve. It's not really a double down, but I remember it had to be 93. We went to Delaware Park Casino. Mom's gonna hate me for telling this story, but she's not here to whoop me, so it's fine.
That's all that matters.
Had my toboggan, right? Because you know the rose part where everybody goes down. Mom thought it was too dangerous for me to start trying on that with everybody over there, right? So she took me over by myself over in the little path area where the trees are. So I'm tobogganing. So she takes me back another day with a new one because now I got the hang of it. This one goes, this one is what you're supposed to use. So I don't know what I did, but I got confident and I went down the same hill like I did 100 times, and that thing turned backwards on me. And you come down the hill towards the water, but it was frozen over, so I'm not worried about the water. I slid under a hedge and hit the cement marker that was in the trees. So not only was I cut up, but I slammed my back into this cement block that's hidden by the trees. My mom had to sift through. She's peeling them back. You in there? And I'm laid out.
Wait, how tall was you at this point? You shouldn't have been hard to miss.
Well, 93. I was 9, so I had to be about 5'8".
Dang.
Yeah, I had to be about 5'8". Yeah.
That's his height.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm still laughing at how Junie reacted to the picture I sent y'all.
Huh?
I'm still laughing at how Junie reacted to the picture I sent y'all.
Which one?
The one that with me and my aunt and uncle.
Oh, yeah. Yo.
Ain't no way. I said, yo, watch this. They on the steps. They on the steps.
That's it. That's it.
I was only 12.
They was floating.
Yeah, they were. I was only 12. It's all right, though. We all had to be in the picture, united.
Unbelievable. All right. So, oh, yeah. I wanted to get to this one, too. Laura said, when I was playing catch with friends, the ball hit me dead in the eye socket, and I had to wear an eye patch until it healed. Oh, man, you was a pirate for a good minute, huh? Sweat says, all I'm going to say is I'm a PK kid.
I'm glad Junie took the camera off me. Because I was like, the eye patch. And then it was on me when you said he was a pirate for a while. I was like, I didn't know what I was liable to. I'm like, I don't know if it's sore, but I don't want to. I want to compose myself.
I would have challenged her to a duel back then. You know what I'm saying? Loser walks the plank.
Loser walks the plank. And yeah, and Sweat. Yeah, I'm a PK's grandkid. So yeah, I get it. You were in all sorts of mischief. I know the truth. That PK kid. That's a cover.
That's is that what it is?
Yeah, that's a cover.
Yeah.
My mom's the only PK kid I know that's like, what? I'm like, Mom, give me some dirt. I ain't got none. Give me some. She's like, I ain't got none. She used to, back in the day, she used to hang out with some of the lesser known bills and stuff like that. She said they be drinking. She drinking milk. I'm like, what? At 20 something? Oh man, oh God.
Wow.
Yeah. So yeah, there's no dirt on her. I'm mad about it. I gave up. 40 years, I can't find nothing. It's over.
Sweat said, absolutely, I was off the hook.
I know. As soon as I said, I knew what that meant. Yeah, so.
All right. So
I guess we should talk about football at some point.
Yeah, I mean, maybe.
I mean, people, it's still climbing, and we're having a good time. Whatever.
Why not?
You guys pop in whatever you want to talk about. We'll ask questions. We'll answer it. Because I feel like I'm in the kind of mood today.
Yeah. It does. It feels like that kind of show. Last Friday show that we're gonna do this off season. So why not? You know what I'm saying? Stove is hot. So
We got obviously we got stuff to get to, but we gonna get to. We got plenty of days.
No doubt, no doubt. So really quick, and this, since we're in the comical mood, I thought this was hilarious, and I don't think like we were still talking about so much stuff on Monday, we didn't get a chance to bring it up, but I think it was so funny that Aaron Rodgers didn't even bother calling the Jets until after they hired their head coach, and then tried to just come into the facility whoa, Aaron, where you going? What are you talking about? I'm finna go work out.
Where?
No, where? You're right. Where? not here.
Right.
What are you talking about? I'm the quarterback. What? See, that's that.
That's that's where you're wrong.
That's the thing we have to talk about, Aaron.
It's an office.
Yeah, that's not the case anymore.
That's not the case anymore.
They really just told this man, you can't even come in the facility. We probably gonna get rid of you.
Yeah. I mean, it's like that meme where the guy goes with a little key cards, door and it won't open. This is real life. This happened. And it couldn't happen to a better person.
I agree with that 100%. I almost wish it happened like that. And I almost wish that they kind of like took all of his stuff and put it in a little bag and dropped it from like the 6th floor just so it could like splash and break all around him. Like that sounds very jaded, but like that's how much I dislike what Aaron Rodgers did to the Jets. That was a good young team that would have been very interesting to watch, and they just got killed by an old quarterback with a bad attitude, man. I really feel bad for those dudes as just a football fan, not as a Bills fan.
Yeah, it's tough for the Jets. I just can't look at the Jets and be like, oh yeah, Jets. But same time, Aaron Rodgers, yeah, I'm interested to see what happens to the rest of the team now, because a lot of those guys came over with Aaron Rodgers, Devontae Adams and
well, Adams wants to get traded to the 49ers now.
See?
I guess I understand that. I mean, you're not playing with a great quarterback, but
who is the quarterback?
Purdy.
No, I mean, you're talking about over there. I thought you were talking about the Jets. I'm like,
oh, you didn't hear about that?
No.
Bruh. Your boy.
What boy?
Your favorite boy is going to be the Jet starter. Yeah.
Until the draft.
Well, if they find somebody, but I don't think they're high enough to get a quarterback.
Jalen Milroe. Jackson Dart. Somebody. Don't make it be. I mean, I don't have any. I have no faith they're going to beat us anyway, give me something I want to watch.
But they said it's going to be a competition. So do you really think a rookie is going to beat your boy out? I'm talking about Tyrod Taylor.
He should. I
was trying to avoid saying the name. Maybe
no,
you
it's
would
okay.
say
You won't get canceled.
You're not going to cancel me?
I'm not going to cancel you for that. I understand. Don't like it, but I understand.
Yeah, well, I mean, think about it from the head coach's position. He's a defensive guy. I mean, Sean pretty much did the same thing when he got here, right?
Mm-hmm.
It was Tyrod and who else?
Peterman.
That's who competed for the job?
Yep.
All right.
Was Matt was Matt Castle still here? No. I don't know who else was here that year. I don't know.
Was he? No, he wasn't here.
There had to be a third guy. I refuse to believe that this dude went into. I said I wasn't going to be negative on Sean today, but if it is,
wasn't it the other guy that we got from the Eagles?
Cobb?
Kevin Cobb, and he got hurt, right? Or was that the EJ Man? Am I mixing the EJ Manuel situation?
EJ Manuel was he was going with Marone.
Lynn is ready to get into James Cook.
No.
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 All right. We're going to specialize in not giving the people what they want.
No,
Kyle Orton. That might have been it. Mark said Kyle Orton.
Joe Webb. It was. Let's see,
that's right, Joe Webb.
Nathan Peterman, Tyrod Taylor in 2017.
Yeah. Okay.
Mm-hmm. That's horrible.
I mean, I guess we can get into James Cook stuff now, right?
Yeah.
All right. We'll do that. We'll help Lynn out. Preston Smith was just released by the Steelers. Not interested.
You close the email?
Huh?
You close that email up?
Yeah, not interested. Sorry. Roy said no. I mean, maybe. Yeah, Roy said we can give them Trubisky, the Jets. Would you want to give them Trubisky?
Who, the Jets?
Yeah.
Fine. Fine.
Okay. Says a lot about Mitch.
Fine.
Right.
Money making Mitch.
So the reason I asked the question that I did, which is worse, the Chris Tabor signing or the James Cook issue, is because obviously to me both situations are bad. Both occurrences are bad. The fact that James Cook is evaluating himself at $15 million. Look, there's something to be said about what an agent's job is in trying to raise the value of his player, but 15 is just absolute nonsense. For him to throw that number out, and it may not have been him, it might have been his agent telling him to do it.
Well, it doesn't matter.
Right.
It doesn't matter.
Right. But for that number to be released as his valuation, and the 15 number is equivalent to exactly what Barkley made this year. I think, it's between 13 and 15.
I have numbers, go ahead.
Okay. So the fact that he's doing that is a little more than just trying to get a little bit more money. You're pricing yourself out of the Bills organization. Now, what we have to discuss and really think about is that the plan? Because I think that's a very interesting conversation. The 15 mil itself, there's people have talked about that all week, and I don't want to just rehash what they talked about. I want to take it a step further. So we'll park right now on the 15 million, but I do want to get into what that says about his intentions to stay here as a Buffalo Bill. So, what's the first thing you heard when? I'm sorry. What's the first thing you thought when you heard 15 million?
Let James cook.
What?
Let James cook.
Oh, like let him go and get his paid? You want him to get paid 15 million?
You're not going to make 15 million first. I mean, that's 15 million. That's 60 million over 4 years. We'll say total. When you're talking about more so actual money, you're talking about 10 million a season. So we sat here and said 9 is okay. Just like when you go to the car dealership. Matter of fact, I'm going through this right now.
So you're including New York State taxes then if you're doing that.
Well, no. What I'm doing is this. When you go to a car dealership, I'm going through this right now. Well, I'm not going through this. My guy's already set, but I just got to wait on some stuff. But you say, okay, I want to pay this amount, and then next thing you know, you're expecting to pay that amount. Then they hit you with another $30. You're like, whoa. No. See, the thing about James Cook that bothers me in this whole ordeal is now you're saying diva Cook. Now James Cook is a diva. How? That the moniker changes. It was let James Cook all year long. James Cook was by far, outside of Josh Allen, the most impactful offensive player we have.
Oh yeah.
He knows that. James Cook knows what staying in Buffalo is going to do to his body. He knows what staying in Buffalo is going to do to his potential, Super Bowl winning. He knows what staying in Buffalo could do to his brand if he has one. This is the same guy who said, I don't give a F about the Super Bowl because the Bills ain't in it. Now, what I liken this to is going to a restaurant, I just got my tax refund. I didn't. I wish I did. But bet, everybody, ball out. I got one out there, ball out. You get that receipt. Whoa, hold on a second. What? I got to think about this. I probably should. and what it is people saying, James Cook, this is James Cook. We built that. Himbo, Jimbo, whatever the case, we built that. And is it just? Now, when you're looking at the 15 million in itself, and I know people are going to be like, what are you talking about? 15 million in itself. Let's see here. On the team, James Cook, yards from scrimmage, 1,267 yards from scrimmage. He was a top dog, and that's rushing and receiving. Khalil Shakir was more than 400 yards behind him. James Cook, 18 touchdowns. Josh Allen, the only other Bill anywhere near in yards in touchdowns, rushing and receiving.
Okay.
If you look at total yards, if you look at, you're looking at Josh Allen, total yards, 40, we'll say 4,200, 4,199. James Cook, rushing yards only. 1,009. So what this is saying is this guy is a huge chunk of your offense. $15 million. We scream about, why don't we pay Greg Rousseau $25 million? Why are we talking about that? Rousseau doesn't have anywhere near the impact of the Bills. I'm not saying on this show that we're advocating for it, but the thing is, these are the going rates for these people. And I'll double down because James Cook is a Buffalo Bill. Like I said, if you're talking about wanting to buy somebody else's player, this year, Jonathan Taylor had a 15.5 cap hit. Derrick Henry, 12.8 cap hit. Josh Jacobs, 11.3 cap hit. Alvin Kamara, 10.1 cap hit. Total cash, Christian McCaffrey, 16.2. Saquon Barkley, 13.5. Jonathan Taylor, 13. Josh Jacobs, 8. DeAndre Swift, 8. So if you're looking at these numbers as more palatable, contract value, Josh Jacobs, number 1, 48. Is he the best running back in the league? It's bloated. 15 mil is 15 mil, but that's not what he's actually going to get unless you get the incentives, unless you get all this other stuff. So unless you're really talking about bringing in somebody, and I'm not talking about Myles Garrett, I'm talking about a couple people for that money. Who you spend it on? You're going to spend it on a guy that you know, because what do we always say? We want to pay money for a proven commodity. We've seen this guy in our offense. I know 15 sounds ridiculous, sounds ugly, it's horrible. And I know Keyshawn's been banging the tail for James Cook since last year. But it's funny how now that he says 15 mil, he looks like a diva because he pinned it in his car. And not us, but I'm saying this is what I'm seeing on Twitter. This is what I'm seeing on my Facebook feeds. What the nerve of him. Buffalo didn't build him. He was a 5-star athlete out of Miami in high school. Went to Georgia. We're talking about this guy has no tread on. He has tread galore on his tires. This is like a Chevy Z71 tread. Saquon Barkley, how many carries does he have? Derrick Henry, we're not even talking about. They're not even in the same stratosphere. Right. So what is the longevity for this 25-year-old young man? This 26-year-old young man. So could you spend the other? Sure, go blow it on another Von Miller. Go blow it on somebody else who's 30-something years old as a name. Or you can go get somebody that helped your player. You're Josh Allen, the only person on this team that's proven to take the reins from, because everybody talked about the Ray Davis game against the Jets, I think it was. Fine, he had a good game. But James Cook, let me go back to this for a second. He had 5 2-touchdown rushing games. Guess what? He was tied for second most, only behind Saquon, tied with Derrick Henry. He had 4 touchdowns over 40 yards. Saquon Barkley had 7. Derrick Henry had 3. Now, like Mel said before, he's done it with less carries than any of them, by far. The tread. So, I mean, I get it. I get how it sounds. I get how Buffalo says, we need this, that, and third, because everybody wants to build a defense. But for me, if he's going to cook, I need to see things this year. Don't get me wrong, because he has the accelerator. He's $5 million already. I need to see, him become a more integral part in the passing game. But the rushing game, he in the last 2 years, he's had a better rushing showcase than Christian McCaffrey. McCaffrey's got him in passing. But he's a better receiver than Saquon Barkley and Derrick Henry. Not because he's more talented, but because they use him in that fashion. And we've seen it. So that's my argument for why I'm like, okay, 15, it sounds crazy. But $10 million is the going rate. You're talking about going forward. The price is going to keep raising.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So that's right around where I had a tolerable dollar amount per year for him is $10 million. I could stomach $10 million for what he did, but then I thought about it. How productive was Ed Oliver this year?
Well,
I would say not that productive.
Well, yeah, I'm just saying it depends on how you look at it. But go ahead.
Well, here's how I'm looking at it, and I think this is the fairest way to look at it from the player's perspective, because I always try to look at it from the player's perspective as much as I do from a fan and a team perspective. You know what I'm saying? From a player's perspective, Ed Oliver was not put in a great situation to be very successful this season. The final year of his contract is when he had his best year, right? He then did very well that year because that's when they went and they got is that DaQuan Jones' first year? Yeah. They got DaQuan Jones that year. That boosted the efficacy of an Ed Oliver, right? We saw what he could do when he had a good one-tech that actually surprisingly had some pass rush to him on top of that. And so he had a career year. He got his money. Since that point, they have not invested anything in the one tech position, knowing that Daquan Jones is probably on the wrong side of, well, I think he was 20, 29, 30 years old or something like that at the time.
Right now? Or, yeah.
Yeah.
When he got hurt. After he got hurt, it was over with.
Right. So the point of me bringing up Ed Oliver is I think we have a few examples now of players who get their deals here and never seem to live up to the number that they get. Dawson Knox, Tre'Davious White never really lived up to the $70 million that he got. And these are guys that we drafted, right? Obviously, Micah Hyde and Jordan Poyer lived up to their contract extensions and more, but those are guys we signed, right? So looking at what it would take, first and foremost, to pay James Cook, that takes $10 million of cap space per year off the table, right? You can't even touch that money now, right? So we're talking about in what was supposed to be a hopefully $20 million worth of cap space, you're now looking at about half that, right? And this is all just to pay your running back. This doesn't include any other positions, no draft picks, no nothing, right? Just right off the bat, you're going to end up with $10 million left, okay? So, and I'm not even including how they structured the $10 million. It could be $7 million guaranteed with $3 million worth of incentives. It doesn't even matter. But my point is, this is not a team that's shown that once they sign a guy, they're going to put him back in the same position he was in when he had a career year so that he can continue hitting those. How did I just brain fart right now? Incentives and getting the money that he should be able to get, right? Now, these are all good guys. These are not guys that are going to go complain to the media that they don't, get their opportunities and stuff like that. But, hey, players like money, right? And Josh Allen is not going to shy away from winning an MVP, again, because he knows there's $1.5 million on the line. Just like there are other bonuses for these players built into their contracts for the numbers that they are able to put up. So the next time we see a player getting mad at his role on the team being diminished, think about the $1.5 million that Josh Allen won for MVP, because that's what these players are missing out on when they're not getting the opportunities that they should to produce like they should. So I really don't have faith in the team, I guess is what I'm saying, when it comes to, okay, we're going to give James Cook the $10 million, but before this year, James Cook wasn't putting up these kind of numbers. It's not like he was consistently this damn good for his whole rookie contract, and then it's like it's a no-brainer, you got to pay him. It's kind of like before this year, like last year, it was like, all right, he's pretty good. He's pretty good. He's better than average. He's pretty good, right? Then he has a career year, and then it just shoots to $10 million, and it's like, well, realistically, am I going to see this consistently? No, I haven't seen this from any of the guys we drafted.
Well, yeah, I get it. I think I would contend, though, last year, to me, minus Josh Allen's 15 rushing touchdowns, we don't know what Cook would have did, with the extra touches in the red zone. But he had a better yards per carry and better overall yards per season. So yeah, it was budding. But I think this year the biggest issue, not issue, but the biggest plus for him was getting 20 touchdowns in the season. 17 rushing and 3 more receiving. So I think it's a mixed bag. And like the way I think about it, like I always talk about the cornerstone on the defense. Like I always say, I mean this is the core. You got Josh is Batman and James is Robin. That's the way I look at it. Yeah. And I think his skill set actually has not even been touched. Whether Brady decides to put him out in the slot, you could put him and Ray Davis on the field at the same time. Yeah. You really could. There's so many things you could do with him in his skill set, because everybody talks about how small he is, but we want, Xavier Worthy, who's smarter than James Cook. Tez Johnson smarter than James Cook. True. I think Hollywood Brown, what is he? He's about the same size as James Cook, isn't he? He might be smarter too, Hollywood Brown. Is he? I don't think he's that
about
tall.
the same size as
about
James
the same
Cook.
size.
Yeah.
And people want him in Buffalo.
Yeah, I do too.
Well, I don't mind it,
Yeah.
but at what price? See, that was when I'm like, at what price? Because he's got the injury history. He's got a little bit of age on it. But I wouldn't be mad at on some kind of Curtis Samuel type contract.
It's about the best speed we can get at receiver right now, ain't it? Hollywood Brown, $11 million.
That
is what they say the going rate is probably going to be.
Yes, that or you got to look in the draft. And that's the crapshoot.
Yeah. I think if you know you need speed, I'd rather just get Hollywood Brown. At this point, I trust the free agent signings more than I trust the draft picks.
And it's weird to me. I'm going to go into because I can't wait until we can actually start doing the draft things. And you did plug that as part of the membership package. But when we start talking about the draft picks and we can kind of delve into where things should be slotted. For me, this is the year where there's no excuse for you to come away with anything less than a blue chip at two or three positions: D-line, cornerback, safety. If you get any two of those three as a blue chip, you're good. I don't want to hear about how deep to get from the top. Stop skimming from the bottom. I don't want the best of the worst of the best. I want the best of the best that you can get. And for me, I don't want an offensive tackle. I don't want an offensive center, offensive guard. I don't want any of that. I want a skill position guy at that premium slot. Don't trade back. Don't do any of that crazy crap because that's what they do, and that's what I'm afraid of. And the dollar trade off is not worth it for me because I was going to go into it a little later in the show, but looking at what the best teams spend money on, guess who's not high? The Chiefs have one of the cheapest defenses. They went to the Super Bowl. Yeah. The Eagles' defense is paid, I think, middle of the pack, but the Bills.
Right, and that's how you're supposed to do it when you're giving your quarterback a huge contract. You got to draft your defense.
Yep.
That's what the Eagles did. All the guys are young.
They all do that.
And so I want to get to a couple of these comments before we get too far. Roy says Cook was on the field for less than 50% of offensive snaps. If the Bills pay him a second contract, would you want his usage to increase?
No, I don't care about it. Honestly, it sounds like a cop-out because I'm the poster boy for the fan club, but if you take, and I know the Jets game, but if you take Cook off the field in some of those high stakes games that Josh wasn't doing so well in, what's the outcome? There were games where Cook didn't play, a lot of snaps. The last game against the Chiefs, he should have played more. The first half, he's a stage setter, and they didn't set the stage. What you have to do and what Cook can do is he gives you that. He's done it. We've seen it. He can take the ball short and go. And I know Tommy, if he's watching Devin Singletary, nobody was afraid of that. That's a dynamic nobody's afraid of. When they see Cook on the field, like, you know what, we've seen him do this before.
Right.
And so it gives Josh a different look, a different window. And it gives him an outlet. And I'm sure he feels comfortable. We all talk about how Josh has to be comfortable with certain people on the field. Right. And the packages they run, I'm sure they're going to dial something up. Unless Ray Davis really steps up, unless they re-sign Ty Johnson, unless somebody else they draft. I hope they don't draft a running back. But, Darrington Evans, maybe he'll actually get a shot. Frank Gore.
Yeah, right.
Frank Gore. I don't know. If you get the third guy, because Ty Johnson's probably going to price himself out for a third running back, probably.
I could see that.
Unfortunately. You got to get that third guy, and you want to trust that James Cook will get better with diminished snaps, or you put him outside. You got to be more creative with him.
Yeah. Nathan Oliver says free agent signings have not gone well. I mean, Jordan Poyer and Micah Hyde are probably the best signings we had. Who
free
else?
agent signings? All acquisitions have been tough.
Yeah, that's the thing. In my opinion, and this is just my opinion, I think the free agent signings have been better than the draft picks.
I wouldn't argue.
I mean, I just for we have three. Typically, we're supposed to have at least two blue chip players in the first and second round. And then that third round is kind of a toss-up, 50-50, chance of getting a blue chip player, right? But you're supposed to come out of every draft with at least three starters. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And so that's really that's just to keep the pipeline going, But this team has gotten one out of every draft. We've realistically, we got to think about this. We hit on the 2017 draft,
for sure,
and that carried us all the way through to the draft where we got
when 2017, 2018 were good drafts. After that,
Yeah.
Because 18 was Josh, 17 was Tre'Davious. Not I mean, Tre'Davious got it. He did what he did. So I'm not gonna take it away from him.
So then the draft, three years ago, 4 years ago now, when we got Cook and Bernard and right, they came in the same draft.
Yep,
if I'm not mistaken. So that was the next draft of foundational players for what I'm saying. But that draft and then the 2017 2018 those were 4 years apart. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So we can't wait on these waves to pop up.
It's tough. It really is tough because you think you look at last year, Keon Coleman. Well, he wasn't a first rounder. Yes, he was. He was your first pick. You traded out of that position to get Keon Coleman when you could have traded up and got a blue chipper. We talked about this already. Yeah. So you're looking at Cole Bishop. He couldn't get on the field behind everybody's favorite whooping boy, DeMar Hamlin. Mm-hmm. So that's not a win. Your first 2 draft picks, in the offense was not predicated on Keon Coleman. Keon Coleman really. I don't want to say he came alive with Amari Cooper because that signing in itself was just a signing. Yep. It was a name signing. Everybody, Amari Cooper, we know him, so we like him. I'd rather have Mac Hollins the season last year.
Yeah, I think we see now that there was a reason why the Cowboys were ready to get rid of him and why, the Bills never really put him on the field that much.
Yep.
He lost a step.
Yep.
And it sucks, but it is what it is. Yeah, it is.
He has to go the way of Anquan Bolden, where you go start sliding in the slider, you start doing rotational, do stuff like that, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that.
But we got Khalil Shakir. Like it's right. Like literally, we have a guy that's locked up a spot so solid, nobody else can get time.
Your slot,
right.
Locked up your. That's what happened.
That's crazy. That's we have a nickel corner that's locked up the defense and will not allow us to go into a base 4-3.
That's even more
egregious. Now we've got
more egregious than anything. Yeah,
right. And then we got a slot receiver that our older receivers can't just slide into that spot.
You can't usurp him because you got to have him.
That's crazy.
It's wild.
And they won't give him a chance outside.
No,
I don't understand it.
No,
I don't understand it.
I mean, you look at 2018. Really, when you look at 2018, that wasn't even a good draft. They got Josh Allen, Wyatt Teller. Tremaine Edmonds, if you want it. Harrison Phillips didn't like him. Taron Johnson, cool. Saran Neal, Ray McLeod, Austin Pro. The draft didn't make any sense. So you had a couple players, but it just didn't make any sense. And they weren't players here. 2019, Ed Oliver, Cody Ford, Devin Singletary, Dawson Knox, Voshawn Joseph, Jaquan Johnson, Daryl Johnson, Tommy Sweeney.
Who just retired.
Like
literally hours ago, he just retired.
Actually, no. That's Tommy Doyle.
Oh, Tommy Doyle. That's
Tommy
right.
Doyle.
That's
right.
That's
That's coming. 2020, AJ Epinesa, Zach Moss, Gabe Davis, Jake Fromm, Taylor Brass, Isaiah Hodgins, Dane Jackson. 2021, Rousseau, Basham, Spencer Brown, Tommy Doyle, Marquez Stevenson, DeMar Hamlin, Rashad Wildgoose, Jack Anderson. Neither one of the last 2 actually played a game for the Bills. They got put on the practice squad. Kyer Elam, James Cook, Terrell Bernard, Khalil Shakir, Matt Ariza, Christian Benford, Luke Tenuta, Balen Spector. That's probably the best one since Josh Allen.
Yep.
Dalton Kincaid, Osiris Torrance, Dorian Williams, Justin Shorter, Nick Broker, Alex Austin. So we got 3 players out of that one. Justin Shorter doesn't count, even though he was like the local legend forever.
Kincaid can't get no burn. Dorian Williams, they just won't allow to get burned.
They won't allow.
And Osiris Torrance is a stud.
He's a stud. So, I mean, I'm not going to go through the last because it just happened. We don't know anything about him. But,
right.
I mean, Dalton Kincaid, say what you want, he's out of position. Not where he's lined up.
Yep.
But where they ask him to play.
Exactly.
That's his problem. So I'll give him that. He's probably not going to be. He's going to bust out in Buffalo, and then go somewhere and be good.
Yep.
Because they couldn't figure out what he did in the pros his rookie year. Do that again.
Yep. Somebody said Dawson Knox is getting $13 million this season. Who said that? I saw that in the chat here somewhere. Getting $13 million to be a backup.
Is he the backup though?
I mean, how many passes does he get thrown to him a game as opposed to Kincaid?
Yeah, I know.
That last pass in the AFC Championship game was to Kincaid. Now, one of the things that Damaris did say, if you go and watch the tape on that play, it was supposed to go to Kincaid anyway. He had the play was there. Josh just didn't have the time to get the ball to him in stride, right? Mm-hmm. So successful play, got messed up by the blitz. It is what it is, but it was still a dialed up play to Kincaid and not Knox.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? We see Dawson Knox get 1 to 2 passes a game, maybe. And the sad part is he makes bigger impacts with those 1 to 2 passes than Kincaid ever does.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. It's
Yeah, I mean, I kind of like Spence comments here. He said Spencer Brown, Terrell Bernard, Johnson, Chris Renford, Edmonds not here. Allen's, yeah. Oliver, he's a starter. Cook, yes. Shakir, yes. Torrance, yes. Coleman, he starts by default. Groot, okay. Evanescence is really not a starter. White, Tre'Davious White was good. Singletary, he was a placeholder. He was a guy that they fell in love when they wouldn't replace.
Who?
Devin Singletary.
Yeah.
You know, he also goes on to say Bass is a starter. I mean, he's a kicker. You know, he's a kicker, so by default, okay, he's a starter. But no, how many kickers are you going to draft and put him on the bench? You know, you're not going to draft a kicker or punter and put him on the bench. Ariza is a starter, like I said, again, not for us, so that's another level. They gave up on him too quickly, like your other one, Wyatt Teller, gave up on him too quickly. Everybody saw he was good. I don't know what they were looking at, and that's another indictment on them for me. Right. And like I said, this isn't about being negative today, but this is just, just observation. Yeah. I was pumped about Wyatt Teller after his first year. I said, yo, this dude's going to be a beast.
Right.
And he's a beast somewhere else.
Right.
Great.
Nathan Oliver says, so Hollins is the best free agent signing of this team?
Yes.
He's the most entertaining, and you shut your mouth. No, he's not.
Who is?
What do you mean? Micah Hyde, easily.
No, he's talking about now. I think he's talking about now. Like on the team now. Micah Hyde and Jordan Poyer all the time, yeah.
Okay, well, so
I'm thinking now.
To be clear, Nathan, can you just clarify for us? Are you talking about in the history of Bean making free agent signings or this year? Because if it's this year, yeah, Mac Hollins is the best free agent signing this year. Yeah. But if it's the history of the team, it's easily Micah Hyde. Easily Micah Hyde.
Is it easy?
Who else? I mean, you can Poyer. It's
Hyde
and Poyer.
Yeah, it synonymous. Okay, yeah. The was it Hoyer, the Pieds?
Might as well be
the Pied and Hoyer.
The Pied and Hoyer might as well
one.
Be. Yeah, no, I mean, well, see, that's the other part too, and you're right because their numbers are very, very similar, right, in terms of interceptions and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I mean, you kind of have to put both of those guys together. They came here the same year. They got their extensions a year apart, I think it was. Yep. But both of those dudes easily the best free agent signings of this regime. Spence says, so Bean averaging just over 2 starters per draft. Yeah, that's what we're trying to expose. And again, if anybody's watching this show for the first time, I don't want this to seem like we just sit here and bang on the Bills all day. But look, if we sat and looked at another team's moves and looked at what makes sense and what doesn't make sense, it's pretty easy to find things that don't make sense. And all we're really doing is comparing the Bills to teams that win. And
because they are one.
Right. We are one of the teams that win a lot of games. But when you look at the teams that win Super Bowls, that's the goal. So what is it that they're doing that we're not? You know what I mean? So that's really the focus. It's not to, it's like having a brother that's kind of a screw up. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? It's like I could talk about him, but you can't.
You can't say nothing.
You know what I'm saying? If somebody else gonna bang on my Bills, I'm ready to fight.
You're gonna fight. We're gonna square up. Square up.
Right.
Oh, I just saw Ken Dorsey may get a job as the offensive coordinator for the Dallas Cowboys.
Who?
Ken Dorsey.
Oh yeah. I saw that. Yep.
That's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, look, he worked with Josh Allen. Yeah. He's going to continue to get jobs just based solely off of that.
He worked with Jameis too.
Yeah.
He worked with was it Thompson, Roberts, whatever the guy in Cleveland, the other guy. Yeah.
Mark says Bryce Pop was a pretty damn good free agent. Yeah.
He was. Quinn Early was. James Lofton. Yep. I mean, you want to go back? Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. They
traded for Biscuit, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a draft day trade. So
do trades count as free agent signings?
Nah.
No. Okay.
No, that was a draft. Right. I think that was a draft day. But yeah, I mean, they gave up like 2 firsts and all sorts.
Yeah,
they
gave up a lot. Yep.
But yeah, no, I mean, honestly, it might not sound like it, but I'm optimistic right now because I know what I want's going to happen is not going to happen again. But in my mind, it's a new year. I got another chance. Everybody, it's still a chance at Super Bowl. It's still a chance we're gonna knock the offseason out of the park, and I'm ready for it.
Yeah. And look, that's the hope.
Yeah.
That's the hope. I don't want to be sitting there on draft day pissed off at who they picked and all that kind of stuff. Last year's draft, I was pretty happy with.
Yeah, that shit was fine.
You know what I'm saying? But I'd like to feel that way every season. I mean, looking at the players that we have, a lot of them haven't really played yet.
Right.
But the guys that did get on the field in a real game, they showed some stuff. I think the only guy that really got on the field that didn't really show us like big stuff or big potential is Cole Bishop.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And for what he was asked to do, he's probably the rawest of all of them for what he was asked to do, So, Spin says, to be fair, Bills had a high floor across the board. It's not like we, the Panthers, or some of these teams. Our bench players could probably start for. What do you think about that, bro? Because to me, I think some of our starters can't even start for.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just going through it real quick. Okay, so you're looking at how far back are we going? Because.
Well, let's just look at who we have now.
Yeah, I'm looking at. Well, I'm talking about how far back on the depth chart are we going. Let's see. So Mitch Trubisky, sure. Somebody needs a quarterback. Ray Davis, yes, he could start somewhere. I'm sure.
Yep.
Offensive line, no.
Edwards and McGovern, probably not.
Yeah. Wide receivers, Keon Coleman's a rookie, so by default, somebody's going to give him a shot.
Yeah.
He probably have a better shot there than here because he has number 1 next to him. Curtis Samuel would be in the top 3. I'm talking like we're talking about hockey right now. Amari Cooper, he's going to be rotational. So is he a starter? I don't even think he's a starter anymore. Dalton Kincaid, yes, he's going to start somewhere, but he's not going to be good here. Knox would be good here if he was focused as a number 1 tight end.
Yes.
The backups.
Spin said Grable could start for the Chiefs.
Who's that? Grable?
I could see them letting him come in and start. I mean, with what he showed, why not? Why wouldn't you?
No, he's actually pretty good.
Yeah,
he's actually pretty good. He's raw, but he's pretty good. Defensive. See, that the problem is we're talking offense, but defense. That, like you said, how many of the defensive players would start elsewhere? That's the problem,
right?
And that's where our money is.
Yep.
So,
again, to be clear, $100 million on offense, which includes Josh's 40 some odd million this season, and $100 million on defense. When we looked at it this past offseason after the roster was all set in stone, that's what the breakdown was: 100 on defense, 100 on offense.
Yep,
almost even.
A way better breakdown somewhere. I just gotta find it, but we can talk regardless. So defensively, yeah, I don't see where as deep as everybody says.
Right.
I just don't. I don't see it.
Nathan Oliver says, I'll rephrase with a single statement. Since Hyatt and Poyer, somebody just bumped the comment up here. Where is it? Since Hyatt and Poyer, what impactful free agent has been signed? Hollins is the only one that comes to my mind. Mm-hmm. Well, that, sir, you would be absolutely right on that. You'd be absolutely right on that one. I can't think of another impactful guy.
And that's what you're getting at. That's what we're getting at. You
Yep.
know, when you're talking about free agents, if you're going to go that route, Devon Miller kind of signing, the splash signing. Mm-hmm. You know, when you're going to allocate that kind of money to somebody, you got to splash. You can't just half step and say, we're going to go ahead and give, I don't know, we're going to go ahead and sign Daquan Jones to $14 million or something like that because it's a name you know. Starlo Tulele. What was that about? The money they gave him accounted to nothing,
right,
at all. But we got a name. We spent money because what they know is Buffalo is known for not spending money. Now we spend money after Whaley and further up. But historically, with Ralph Wilson being alive, we didn't spend money. We had to give people money to get to the cap floor.
Yeah,
and that's how we were fielding our teams. So now the Bills fans are hearing we're spending money, and money equates to great players, when it really doesn't.
Yep. Kev says the defense will always be the problem with this scheme.
Yep.
Here's one of the reasons I'm very nervous about the signing of the assistant defensive head coach.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, assistant defensive coordinator, the senior defensive assistant. I'm I'm very leery of this thought process that many people have, that we're just gonna shift schemes and we're gonna be more man coverage and primarily man coverage, and you know, we'll see how that goes. And here's why. Most of the players that you currently have cannot play man. They cannot play man. They're either too slow or they're just not good at it, right? And Benford is still here. Yep. So now if you're telling me that Christian Benford is now going to be asked to play primarily man or play man majority of the time, then he better be at safety.
I'm glad you let Spin answer this, and this is not me jumping on you, but you're the guy that talks about contracts and stuff like that. So I heard somewhere Christian Benford, his value when he goes to free agency is gonna be $23 million.
$23 million?
$23 million is what I heard his market value is going to be.
There's no way we can sign him for that.
And Spin, what do you think? Do you think we should?
$23 million?
$23 million for a cornerback that plays zone.
More than we're talking about paying Greg Rousseau.
Yep.
There's no way.
And to double down on that, was it Kev that said that under the scheme the defense is never going to be good?
That was Kev.
We're second in defensive expenditures, $134.9 million on a defense, only behind Pittsburgh. So let that sink in. $80 million on our defensive line, second to Indianapolis. But guess what? Linebackers, $23 million. $23 million, some of the best teams. Pittsburgh spends $95 million on their linebackers.
But they're a 3-4. Like that's the key.
Well, they're 3-4, but the thing is, it's a talent level too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like the talent level, it's a big drop off because we're talking about Terrell Bernard, who, okay, but
look at Philly. Look at how much Philly spends on their linebacker.
But that's what I'm saying. Look where they are, and look what we saw on the field. That's what I was getting to. Philly's defense cost. Where are they on this list? Philly's defense was, I believe, they were like 17th or something like that in expenditures. But they just dominated the new age GOAT. Dominated them.
Right.
So we're spending all their defense. I know they got young guys, but that's what we're saying. They got young guys. Yeah. Don't worry about it later. Everybody's like, I just want one. Look how Philly did it. They didn't pay their way to it. They were smart. Was it Howie Roseman is his name? I think it is.
Howie Roseman.
Look at me go. But and I study that because the way they draft is like, how do you get 3/4 of the University of Georgia line in consecutive drafts? You got 3/4 of them lined up. They know each other. So guess what? If we ever play Philly, Van Pran will be like, I know these cats.
Right. Exactly.
James Cook, man, I know these cats, man. That's the thing. Like if you look at the caliber, I know we just had this conversation about James Cook, but you look at the caliber of how he is as a running back. Look at the caliber of Pickens. You look at the caliber of some other guys that came out of Georgia. Mm-hmm. And then they got 3 of them on their front line, and where McDermott loves to spend his money in the trenches, as he says. You got to win in the trenches. Yep. McDermott's probably shaking his boots when he plays Philly if that's the case.
Right. Real quick, shout out to Scott. Hit us with the super chat love. He says, I have the Buffalo Bills trading from number 30 up to number 24 with Minnesota to get Luther Burton.
Luther Burton, boy.
Yeah?
Missouri. Yeah, it's a bad boy.
Tell us about him real quick.
Luther, you want a bona fide number one? He's not tall. He's like 5'11", maybe 6 feet. Okay. Solid build.
So like Jamar Chase, basically.
Yeah, he's a flyer. High points the ball, physical. I mean, if you get this guy, you put him next to Kenyon Coleman, lights out.
Wow, really?
Out. Lights out. And that's the move I'm talking about. Moves like that. You know, if you're going to get Wharton from Texas, you're going to get Luther Burton. These are the moves you got to make to put yourself over the top. Because you got the stud quarterback, you got the running back at least one more year.
Yeah.
Go get another stud wide receiver. Stud on top of stud on top of stud. Because guess what? Our offense is way down here in pay. They're what?
Middle of the pack?
About 11th. Something like that.
Yeah.
$145 is paying $185 million. And you got to remember, we have our quarterback. Our quarterback.
Yep.
Is let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 highest cap hit.
Made 50
this year.
Last year, yeah.
You know, so Dallas has Dak. You know, Cleveland has nobody.
$29 million on wide receiver.
$29 million.
To who? Like, who's got all the money?
We got $1 billion of them. That's why.
Yeah.
But yeah. Oh no, Buffalo's at 17-7.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I was looking at Cincy. Okay.
So that's the thing. But see, that's my point. You have Josh Allen, and everybody knows he's not. Yeah, okay, fine. But you have Josh Allen, and you got a $17 million weapon kit. So that's like pulling out the OT 12 rifle case with a slingshot in it. That's what that is. It's like, what is this? What am I actually? What am I protecting? What am I using? What is my ammo?
Right.
You know, and that's disrespect. Josh Allen, I got my MVP. I can't use that. I need more dudes like James Cook. Yeah. I need to know my worth.
Yeah. He said he also went on to say, Scott did. He said, I also have them taking Kenneth Grant. That's if they stay at 30.
Yeah, you been on my thing?
Is he following you?
He might be following me.
He might be.
Kenneth Grant from Michigan. Yeah, I mean, a solid build, disruptive guy. Oh man, I mean, if we could pull it off and put him next to Ed Oliver,
defensive tackle.
I think he's about 330.
Jeez.
6'4", 330. I mean, there's a lot of guys. Alfred Collins in the second quarter. I know I can't give up all the stuff, but this is just a sample, a snippet, because this is my wheelhouse. But Alfred Collins is like 320. He's the heir apparent to your boy, Tavondre Sweat.
Ooh.
So if you're looking at that, second round, Alfred Collins. I'm interested in Savion Williams, Scott. I don't know if you know about him from TCU, but I really like Savion. He's like the healthy, skilled version of Laviska Shenault in terms of rushing, receive, the whole package. He can give you what Curtis Samuel does, but he's 6'5", 220. So that tell you right there, you got a high point guy, a speed guy, a guy with nimble feet that can run at 6'5", 220. You like that. So that's something I'm looking at in the second round too. We got 2 second-round picks. That's the thing. There's a lot of cornerback, safety, and D-line depth. And if you get 2 of those 3 by the end of the second round, I call it a win.
Okay. Let's see if they do it, man. They're going to need these draft picks. The cap space is not going to be, as plentiful as people think. It's definitely going to be better than it was last year, but there's going to be a lot of positions to fill.
Mm-hmm. Spence said Benford's been one of the best cornerbacks this year. True, but at $23 million though?
Yeah.
That's tough.
You have to be able to play man a lot better than he does for $23 million.
I would think so.
That's really the bottom line for me. Marcus Warren says Philly actually drafts great talent. That's the difference. And yeah, exactly. That's the point. If your focus is on getting great talent in the door, then your head is in the right place. Because like Mike Tomlin said, you cannot shy away from coaching. Your job is to take these guys who are not polished and make them polished. So that includes character. Now, we're not asking you to draft criminals.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But these are still college kids. So if you're expecting a college kid to come in like he's ready-made for the big leagues, very few players come out like that. Not everybody can be Andrew Luck. You know what I'm saying? And it's like when you have that expectation of these guys and you don't even let them see the field until they're that, you're holding these people back. And then when they get on the field after studying in your classroom forever and being on your practice field forever, and they get in the game and they mess up like James Cook did, you sit them down. Automatically.
But, I mean, what does that do for you when that happens to you and you know you're better than Devin Singletary, who fumbles all the time?
Exactly.
And nothing happens. That's tough.
That's how you end up with a player unfollowing his own team and putting up $15 million.
Right.
That's how you end up with that.
That's how you do it.
Spence says, I don't think they go all man defense, but I think they guarantor is playing a higher percentage of man than we are used to since McD been here. Yeah, look, even if that's the case, I'm still nervous about it because who do we have right now, including our defensive line? It's like that. That's the other part of this. What do we always say about Josh Allen? Boy, he shreds man defense. Why? Because when you play man defense, the defenders have to turn their back to the quarterback, right? So, okay, if you're saying to yourself, well, we got to be able to cover all these weapons that the Chiefs are going to have, your defensive line is not good at keeping Mahomes in the pocket. Right. So what do you think he's going to do? Everybody's back is turned. I'm going to take off. That's the same thing Josh does. So I just – again, the name of the game for me is levity. Like, I just don't want to see everybody get excited about this perceived possible change in defensive scheme, even though it's still going to be run out of the nickel. Yeah. It's never not going to be run out of the nickel until Taron Johnson either gets hit by a car or retires from the NFL.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I don't. I'm being facetious and I'm joking when I say get hit by a car. I don't wish that on anybody, but like that's the issue right now.
It's got to be something like Naeem Hines that takes you out of the game for good.
Right.
Pretty much for good.
Right. We're stuck in a 4-2-5. And listen, a 4-3 running man or a 4-2 running man with this defense still isn't going to work either way.
Right.
You got a Milano who's on the downside of his career now.
Yeah. And I was going to say, you're talking about $23 million for a cornerback. That's the cornerstone. At
yes.
that point,
Especially in man coverage.
Cornerstone.
Yeah.
The defense is built, and you can't say the defense is built around him because you got a Taron Johnson, like you just said, who until he decides he don't want to play in Buffalo no more, we're going to run a 4-2-5. And you can play it however you want. You can call it whatever you want. You can massage the numbers and make it look different all you want, but it's still a 4-2-5 because Taron Johnson can't come off the field.
Right.
So that's something we got to think about too. Taron Johnson is always going to be, to me, our top paid cornerback. Because if you do something with Christian Benford, Taron Johnson's going to have to do something too.
Right. Lynn says Bean is afraid to reach up to the top 15 after the guy.
Which is hilarious because, Lynn, I believe it and I'm with you, but what does Bean always say? I'm aggressive.
Right.
They gotta stop me from making some of these phone calls. You ain't did nothing. You ain't really did nothing for real.
Right.
So when I see you, like I said when Damaris is here, how many times have they made an aggressive move in a draft? Moving up once. And what did you get? You
got the best quarterback in the NFL.
You got the best quarterback in the NFL, and you didn't bust out. You didn't draft Jamarcus Russell.
Yep.
Ryan Lee. You got a blue chipper.
Yep.
Go figure. And then what you do after that? You got a good linebacker too. I know we didn't really care for Tremaine Edmonds, but for what he was drafted for and how he played, he was fine. But Tremaine Edmonds behind this defensive line probably would have been a little better.
Yeah, I agree with that. This year's and last year's defensive line, I would say last year's defensive line is probably even a little bit better.
Oh yeah.
Just because DeQuan Jones was, before he got hurt, he was playing.
He was like a top 2 D tackle.
Right. Steve, wait. I want to get back to this. So Nico said, "Hit by a car as long as it's not a blue car."
What was the license plate on that?
MV7 something. I don't know. That was good, man. I appreciate that. Needed a laugh. Kev says Bane is a decent car salesman. Yeah, he is. Steve says, does having Taron Johnson's greatness hold us back from evolving? What do we get if we trade him?
I don't think you have to. Honestly, I don't think you have to trade him because this is how I look at it. It's not himself. Mm-hmm. He's not boisterous. He's not this diva.
Right.
But what it is it's the team saying we can't move on from him.
Yeah.
He's in his 7th year, 8th year.
Yeah, I think he's 28 already.
Yeah, 28, 29, up there
somewhere around there. Yeah.
But the team's like, we can still squeeze some more juice out of this. We can get a little. No, at this point in time, when you get the succession plan, when you get that next great, and let him battle it out for with the old dog, because iron sharpens iron, as they tell you. So let it sharpen it. Don't spare feeling. Taron Johnson, understand if he's playing behind, we'll say Trey Amos or something like that. Oh man, I can't do what he's doing. I can't. I'm not as big as him. I can't do it. I lost a step. He's up and coming. Let me help him out. That's the kind of guy that they get. But see, the first 2 or 3 drafts that they had, 2017, 18, 19, outside of Josh Allen and some of the younger guys we had at the time, if they're still here, which we just talked about, should be starting to assume that role of the coach, the mentor, because they've been in this system for so long. Whether it's Dorsey, whether it's Daboll, Dennison, Brady, they've been around McDermott, so they know the coach, they know this, so they can put their arm around him and say, Dawson, let me show you the way.
Yeah.
And this team is like they're playing with Madden, just hoping that when they start that new season, that overall don't drop too much, because they don't want to justify putting him on the bench because he's a local legend.
Yeah. I want to get to okay. So Kev says lack of defensive coaching is what's holding us back. What do you think about that?
To a degree.
What do you mean?
I don't know if it's coaching, much as we said before, with regards to the actual talent.
Okay.
The actual talent, because if you put talent out there, the coaching is second fiddle. You know, if you really just want to run 4 up, because they run a basic scheme. But what that means, you got to put supreme talent out there.
Yeah.
And they haven't done either. So when you don't have the talent, when you have DeMar Hamlin, Cole Bishop, Taylor Rapp, and the rest of the guys out there, you got to be creative. So that's where when Kev says, you know, coaching, yeah, but if you can offset the coaching with the new coach by giving them a blue chipper.
Yeah. It's tough to kind of separate the two because they're so intertwined. You know what I mean? Talent helps solve issues for a defensive coach, but at the same time, if you find a way to put players in the right position, they perform better.
Yep.
So you know, it's a symbiotic relationship.
Right.
There's a give and a take for both. But in the context of our current situation, I do have to lean with coaching, because while we have squeezed a lot of juice out of players that are out of position and players that are not just bursting at the seams with talent, it does say a lot about the coach's ability to get these guys ready to play, right? But I think, as you said, and I don't want to exactly rehash what you said, but I think for the creativity point, that's something that we've seen out of Spags. We've seen it out of Lou Anarumo. We even, and this is kind of weird saying this, but even out of Vic Fangio, right? He ran cover 4 the whole time. Why? Because he found out that's all he needed to do. He found something that worked, that was dominant, that did not fail, and he just stuck with it. If he was one of these rigid coaches that just, wanted to just trust the process, then he probably would have called a bunch of different things and given the Chiefs a chance to come back in that game. But he didn't. He said, keep calling it until they beat it. When they beat it, then I'll call something else.
Yeah, I think that lends to, Josh Sweat, and like I said, the front 4 that they had is like, I know I don't have to do much because they can't block us. I know I got Quinion Mitchell back there. I know I got Cooper DeJean back there. I know I got whoever else the safeties are. I'm loaded. I can do whatever I want, as one of my coaches used to say when we had good numbers for a week. He said, Friday, we can do whatever we want. I can't mess this up because I've already done the work in the offseason. I built my castle. Now I'm going to sit down and let it just ruminate for me. And I think that's where the Bills need to get to. So that's why I say when the Bills were on like gangbusters last year, why is that? Because we finally got off of Frazier. Nobody saw what we did before. So when we try to come back with like it really worked, guess what? Oh, we have a whole season of tape now. It ain't going to work because that was very easy to figure out.
Right.
But we just didn't know you were going to do it at the time. So when they come back and see us again, Kansas City, they knew when they lost to us what to do to beat us.
Yep.
And that's why they said, that's why Kelsey was doing a little golfer's clap. That's why they said we didn't want to show that much. And I said after the game, I think it was you or Mac said, do we have their number or something to that effect? And I said, no. I said they did as little as they could to try to beat us. They have a whole other section of the playbook that they were trying not to touch. They knew they were going to lose the game if they didn't do it, under certain circumstances. But they said, you know what? We're going to see them again.
Right. Quick basketball reference. My man Scott again with a 10-footer. Bang! Again.
I like that. Yeah. Yeah.
Get my announcer game going on. He says, appreciate the super chat, my man. He says, question for you guys. Would you pay him Cook $15 million per year, or would you just let him walk and make Davis your number 1 running back because we don't have that much cap?
Yeah. I mean, like, again, when it comes to Cook, I think the $15 million as a whole is daunting. If you're talking about guaranteed money, that's a different story because now you're talking about $20 million a season. Now you're like 22, 20. That's just too much for a running back. But when you see a guy like that who actually can be a cornerstone for any offense, I mean, trust me, if James Cook is not here, some people say he's not going to get. But it's funny because I saw earlier, I didn't mention it, but Spin actually kind of proved my point because he put in there his numbers were 3 years, $27 million plus incentives.
Yes. Yeah, I did see that.
So that's kind of where I am.
Yeah.
It's 4 years, $40 million. So you can even do 3 years and what is that? $45 million and give him $27 million guaranteed with incentives. That's still going to arrive at the same $15 million that he may or may not see with the same cap number, essentially. It just looks better. It's more palatable.
Yeah. Yeah. Laura says Babbage is still green too. Talent upgrade will also do wonders.
1,000,000%. That's kind of what I'm getting at.
Yeah. Again, for levity's sake, don't shoot the messenger, please, Laura. But I think Babbage has done a better job than Sean did last year in coaching the defense up and getting them to play aggressive. I even think the play calling has been better under Babbage than it was under Sean when he took over as defensive coordinator. So my hope is that Sean continues to step back from his influence on both sides of the ball and just let these guys like grow their product and really, start to have both of these sides of the ball have their identities more so than Sean's. We'll see if that takes place because I like Babbage as a coach. I like Brady as a coach, and I want them to get more of the shine and not have to deal with the perception of the failure when it's not really their playbook 100%. Yeah. You get what I mean?
Yeah,
like
100%.
it's not their baby.
Yeah.
It's like Sean is having them babysit in a sense.
And I think I think it's fair. I think it's fair for Sean to even do that because you think about when you have a kid and they turn 16. You know what happens when you turn 16? Get the little rectangle.
Yeah.
Dad, let me get the keys to the car. You can get it, but you got to do these certain things first.
Right.
And I think that's fair for me, Dermot.
Yeah.
Say, this is my brain. This is my baby. I'm gonna hand it to you, but under these conditions, I'm still gonna check the oil, make sure you got gas. I'm still gonna do these things, but it's essentially yours. Now next year, I'm gonna let your curfew ease back another hour, and then another hour, and it takes forever. But the problem is he started so late.
Yeah.
We want him to just do it like now. And like he said in the press conference, if you would have told me in 2017 I was going to be like this, I'm like, you crazy. Not doing this. I'm not giving up the reins. I'm a control freak. The first step to the recovery is, what is it? Admitting you have a problem. That's what it is. The first step. He admitted he had a problem. Too bad he did it.
Yeah. Yeah. I respect the point 100% about parenting. I do. I really do. But I think my and this is just my approach. I'm how can I say this? I'll just say it. Screw it. It's a podcast. I'm the type of dad that likes to let his children like just try. You know what I mean? Try, you know what I'm saying? Because if I try, I feel like if I try to control every single thing they do, they'll be more mad at me than they are learning anything in life. You know what I'm saying? So for me, it's like you want to start a business, go try it. You wanna see what happens when you punch somebody in the face, go ahead. you
ain't tell me this part, Dad. You ain't say that much.
But here's the other side of that. Before I let them go and try stuff, I know that I've already taught and trained them enough to understand what their capabilities are. I know my children well enough to know how they're going to react and respond in certain situations. So I don't need to hover. I know what I've put into them. You know what I'm saying? So from that standpoint, as a coach, that would be my approach. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know we've spent all off season, all regular season in the classroom, on the field, all of this teaching and training and telling. This is the way we need to do it. That's what you got to do. All of that stuff. By the time you get on the field, it's like, all right, fellas, just go do it.
Yeah.
Like, you don't have to do it my way. Just go do it. We didn't already talk about this. You know what the vision is. You know what the goal is. Go do it. You know what I'm saying? And if not, now here's the deal. If you mess up, we got to have a conversation. And I need to understand what happened. Well, like, what were you thinking on this? Why did you do that? Okay, blah, blah, blah. All right, I understand that, but here's where you were wrong. Right? Just like Sean was talking about with the trick play in the Ravens game. Like, probably not the best time to call something like that. That's a teachable moment. Mm-hmm. It's not what I want to happen during the regular season. Maybe you should have done a better job of explaining what you want in those types of situations to your offensive coordinator. Right. But again, just merely a difference of opinion. I'm not, trying to say I got to get out of making people feel like they're wrong if I disagree with them. I don't want to keep offending people like that. But all of this is to say, and I really want to get to this point from Steve, because I ain't seen my man on here in a minute. I missed him. Steve says, isn't it funny how Bills media wants to claim we overachieved with a below-average roster, and they do. Don't let anybody fool you. They do want us to believe that, right? Mm-hmm. They overachieved with a below-average roster and then compliment Bean for being a great GM when he's the one that built the below-average roster, right? But here's the other excuse they're going to come with. Well, we didn't have the cap space this season. Why not?
Because, go back a level.
Right.
Go back a level in your formula, because there's an error somewhere.
Right. The idea is we are in this position cap-wise because of what? Because of the Von Miller signing, because of all the other cans that we didn't kick down the road with all these players that we kept way longer than we should have. Yep. Players that they should have never been given the contracts they were given. Yep. And look, let's do this, because I think this transitions into the Chris Tabor point, right? This is now, and I understand that coach money comes from the owner. It doesn't really count towards the salary cap. But the Chris Tabor signing, when you look at it, it really did not need to happen, right? And here's why. Because people are going to look at this Tabor signing as an upgrade, right? We talked about this last episode, and you said it so eloquently. You said, what the heck do special team coordinators do? Right? Yeah. And it's hyperbolic. It's funny. But let's be clear. We understand what a special teams coordinator's job is, but I think what we're trying to say is, how much impact does a special teams coordinator really have on the special teams performance, right? Because we saw a special teams performance last season. It never killed the Bills. Right. Never. If anything, we loved seeing what Codrington can do, right? To me, to my eyes, to my knowledge, that was an improvement over the previous year. Mm-hmm. And that was under Matt Smiley, right? So now we let Smiley go. Really no explanation why. Right. The special teams was not worse than it was the year before. In fact, it was better. Right? Your kicker performed better than he did the previous season. Right? So when we're looking at this particular special teams coordinator, you have to say, okay, well, they got rid of the guy they had to go and get this guy. So there must be something about this dude that people love. Now, I looked this up. According to NFL players, he is the number 2 rated special teams coordinator in the NFL right now. Based on players' opinions. I'm asking you, like, yes, what do you do? Yeah, right.
Tell me you ain't got no job, man.
He let me catch the ball in practice more than the other guy. I love him to death. Like,
that's
right.
That's a plus.
Okay. Right. So I had to go and I looked. I found out who he's worked for so far, because a guy like this, you would have to think, well, man, he's probably he's probably coached with some of the best coaches if they're regarding him in such a high fashion that they're going to let their own guy go who didn't do a bad job just to go and get this guy, right? Who, his last job was with Carolina, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yeah, I believe so.
No.
Or was it Chicago?
Let me double check. So, yes, it was the Carolina Panthers. He was the interim head coach. And then he was out of the season for 24. So he was out of the season. He was out of the league. I'm sorry. He was out of the league for a full season. And we fired Matt Smiley just to hire this guy. These are the coaches that Chris Tabor has coached under. Okay? You ready? This is going to be great. Rob Jasinski.
Okay.
Okay? What was he a great head coach? Did he win much? No. Okay. Hugh Jackson. That ring a bell?
Yep.
Hugh Jackson Browns head coach.
Yeah, he was something.
Good offensive guy.
Mm-hmm.
Never really won much.
No.
Okay. Matt Nagy. Terrible in Chicago. Terrible.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It had to get better from there. Had to. How about Mike Pettin?
Oh, yes. Our guy.
Right. Mike Pettin. Good old Mike.
Good old Mikey Mike.
The defensive blitz master. Rex Ryan's protege. Mike Pettin.
Mike Pettin.
The key to Rex's defense, right? No, sorry. Frank Reich was fired.
First year.
Was fired with Chris Tabor there. Okay? To the point where the only guy that was left with any kind of tenure that could take over was Chris Tabor. So he served as interim head coach.
One game.
For one game.
Which he lost.
Which he lost. Right? Next guy, Matt Rule. Matt Rule decided to keep Chris Tabor because he was number 2 rated in the league. Players loved him. Right? Next head coach, Pat Shurmur. Gotta
have it.
And last but not least, he was an assistant special teams coach for Lovie Smith.
The great Lovie Smith.
The great Lovie Smith.
The resume is highly regarded.
This resume
We're in good hands.
of head coaches that this man has served under is nothing to write home about at all. So what explanation, aside from Matt Smiley going off on Sean and telling him to go screw himself because Sean is criticizing his special teams, and Sean just saying, you know what, I don't need this. I can go hire my boy Chris because he's sitting at home on the couch right now, and I know we'll get along since me and you can't get along.
Right.
If something like that happened, okay, fine. It is what it is. Y'all can't get along. You fired the dude. You brought your boy in because you want to have a better feel in your offices. Mm-hmm. All right. But that's not why we make decisions. Right? Like that's not why we choose to hire certain coaches. It's not because we're friends with the people. It's not because we just know them. We do these things because they make our team better. Right. And I'm sorry, you didn't need vast improvement on special teams. Smiley was doing his job.
Yeah, Kev says that Tyler Bass, I guess too many block kicks and too many men on the field. Too many men on the field, fine. But that's a scheme issue. You got to practice that kind of shit. Remember they talked about what was it they said they practiced? They practiced getting men on and off the field. Mm-hmm. How about in that situation that they were in, you just keep your base defense out there and line up. High press, they did it on purpose. High press, keep your base. That's a coaching. That's a preparation issue. Right. And I just looked up Tyler Bass had 2 block kicks in his career. So I mean, it's if you want to talk about kick misses, is that really the special team? Tell me what he does. Right. I mean, I say it, but tell me what he does. Did he go get Sam Martin, who has a horrible hang time? Did he go get all these special teamers that Bean and McDermott stashed as backups, as linebackers and running backs because they're special teams guys? Basically, his job was to say, literally, I work with what you give me. That's his job. I have no say. I'm not even invited to the draft board. Yep. I got to sit in the stands with the rest of the people. Yep. But we still, like you said, never lost a game in this past season. Were heavily influenced by special teams. The worst special teams gap flash I can think of offhand is the Arizona game, the kickoff return. That's offhand the worst special teams play I can remember this year. So I if you're gonna fire him, fine, but why now?
Right. It's the season had already ended. You came out and said you're not looking to fire anybody, and then a week later you fire somebody.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, all right. So I guess we're supposed to trust the process at that point, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing. Oh, good. I'm sorry.
No. You good. Laura hit him with the reverse layup, right? Hit him with the super chat game. She said Mike Rich. Oh, you know what? I don't even know if I want to read this now. You calling us out? No, I'm kidding. She said Mike Rich, the tech guy, did wonders, or you got a new cord. Either way, now we lit. Yay, PPP.
This show is brought to you by Cord.
No. So technically, we're waiting for the parts to come in for the desktop. We did get a new cord. It's a shorter cord, which is supposed to work better. That was on the advice of my boy Rich. So thank him. Once again,
Not too hard. Don't let his head swell up. He still thinks McDermott for president and all these other great things. So
well, that's true too. And he thinks he gonna destroy us in Madden too. That's another thing. So
have you played him yet? Have you ever played him?
Huh?
Have you ever played him?
I've never played him.
Oh, yeah, it's over with.
Yeah. Maybe I haven't played in a while, but it's like riding a bike.
I will be your sparring buddy.
Huh?
I will be your sparring buddy.
Okay.
Come on, Rock.
Fair enough.
What's the matter with you, man?
Fair enough.
Have you running down Jefferson?
For a Madden game?
For a Madden game. Gotta make sure you're in tip-top shape.
You're gonna get him today, right, Rock?
Go ahead. Oh, I got it. Go ahead, Rocky.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Hit him.
You're a bum. Spin says, how much do you think McD is affecting Brady and what he wants to do? A lot. I mean, think about what we've seen Brady do in college.
Yeah.
Think about the offense he ran in Carolina. Part of the reason he got fired is because Matt Rule wanted him to run more.
Yeah.
So
he said run. What'd that mean?
Exactly. So Brady essentially was trying to do what Daboll did that got Daboll a head coaching job, which is an air raid offense with a lot of good scheme and a lot of good route combinations, and it just works better when you have better players.
Mm-hmm.
We saw the same thing with Brian Daboll. It works better when you got better players. So to see this, super efficient offense, and to be clear. We ran some air raid route combinations, right? But so much of it had to be dialed down that it came down to these, crossers or deep crossers, or you know what I mean? Like those were the plays that were, I guess, edited in a sense when it comes to what an air raid offense is typically. You know what I mean? Air raid off, you don't typically see a lot of deep crossers or crossers underneath and stuff like that. So the other part of the big scheme change is the run game.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? The heavy run game in an air raid offense, you just don't see that. So that's all Sean's influence. Now, did it work? Yeah, it worked. But again, like I always say with everything else, in terms of how we view success or failure, we have to look at how it happened and why it happened. And primarily, a lot of the success for the offense rests on Josh's shoulders. So, it's very tough. It's very tough for Brady to be in the position he's in right now, where it's not really his 100% design.
Yeah.
He's doing what he's asked to do, and really he learned his lesson from Matt Rule. He tried to stand his ground knowing what he had in college and what he's shown in college, and he got fired after 1 year. You know what I'm saying? He didn't want to go through that again by arguing with Sean. So, okay, Sean, this is what you want. This is what I'm going to give you. You got Josh Allen, so it's probably going to work. Josh Allen won in Carolina, so that's probably why that happened. So, Roy says Babbage over McDermott. Aramis' love for McDermott is really showing tonight. Look, you want to say it for me? Like,
what was it? What did he say?
He said Babbage over McDermott. Aramis' love for McDermott is really showing up tonight.
Yeah. You haven't been as jaded as usual. So I think they misconstrue your non-usual McDermott a tar and feather drawn and quartered with just get him out of here. This is off-season edition.
I usually am. Yeah.
You are. This is off-season edition. It's a new optimism.
Yeah. Well, I'm. You know what it is? I'm trying to turn over a new leaf. I would like to present, because one of the things I realize that the difference between me and who you know what, the difference between me and let's say Jeremy White right now, the difference between he and I is he's saying it in a very professional way where he's not directly saying McDermott is the problem, but he has consistently now been saying since the AFC Championship game that the defense is the problem.
Oh, yeah.
Right? He's pointed it out all types of different ways. He's pointed it out with all types of different stats. And the only difference is I'm actually saying the name Sean McDermott and he's saying the defense. Yep. Right? So, you know, I'm trying to get to the point where I'm saying things in a way that, you know, doesn't make people feel like I'm just the ex-girlfriend or something like that. Right. You know, so I got to get better at that.
No, I think, you know, I stepped back and looked at you and I was like, you know who you remind me of? TD from TD Finstar. You do.
Really?
You do. Because, you know, not that you don't hit him with the bombastic I told you so.
No.
But at the same time, you know, you have what you said. I went on record as saying it. I'm not changing it. And I told you when it happened, I told you so.
Right.
Let somebody hang, you know, because we called it all week. I told y'all. I'm sorry. You said it. I'm sorry. I don't want to be right about this. And he starts his shows off like that sometimes. I'm sorry. I don't want to be right about this.
Yeah.
But I told y'all. And, you know, So and TD's got like 27,000 followers. So is that a bad thing? No,
it's not.
Not at all.
Listen, I wish I had that.
People heckle him. People talk about him. People call him out. But at the same time, he's not wavering. And the thing is, when he started, he was completely opposite. He was super happy, super fan. Oh yeah,
really?
Super fan, super. It was crazy.
Well, and eventually you reach a breaking point. I was that way.
Yeah, and he's like, I can't believe. Look at me, man. Look at me. I can't believe I was like this. Right. But you know, and that's the thing. And it's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing because the point of this show, and we've said it before, especially you, is we don't want to be like locked on. We have components locked on. We don't want to be like talking. We have components of talking. We don't want to be like, you know, even our guys, even the people we talk to, our buddies, our auxiliaries, Rico's and Pierre's and Tommy. We don't want to do just that. We don't want to be cookie cutters. We want to give you a different side, and we want to tell you that we're listening to you when you don't agree. You know, that's the thing. I'm not going to come and try to find you and fight you because you don't agree with what I say. That's to be what makes this show what the show is.
Yeah. Yeah. Steve says, wait, how much time you got? Because it's 8:04. Jesus, this flew.
Go ahead, brother. Go ahead.
You sure?
Yeah, man.
Okay. All right. Steve says, in each game where the Bills got eliminated in the past 7 years, do you know how many TDs we give up versus yards versus field goals versus punts versus turnovers? Do you know how our defense progressed each year? What's the common factor?
I mean, first and foremost, you had too many variables. No, I don't know the answer to all those. Yes, I can tell you that all certainty. I feel like you looked it up. But anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, when you excuse me, when you look at all that stuff, every loss that we've had, the average points surrendered is 33 now. It was 34. We gave up 232 in this last game, so that dropped it a little bit. So, you know, when you look at the statistics, and well, first and foremost, let me back up. I don't think everybody looks at the advanced stats like that. I don't think people really look at the stats in general. I think this year in particular, what they've done is they've said, we made the AFC Championship game. We only lost by 3 points. Let's go get Myles Garrett. That's what I've seen.
That's what you do with Vaughn.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
It's the same, and that's why I compared the situations, because people are talking they're talking now just like they were back in 2020, which was, or I'm sorry, not 2020, it's 2022, right? Which was, we were 13 seconds away. We just need a pass rusher. Even though Jerry Hughes was literally a half a second away from destroying that entire game for the Chiefs.
Yep.
We had the pass rush. The issue was coverage at that point. Yep. The issue was play calls. But we don't look at that kind of stuff. What do we do? We listen to the press conferences after the show. Mm-hmm. And I'm calling football the show. Yep. I'm going to start doing that from now on because the NFL is an entertainment business. It's not a sports network. It's not a sports entity, right? So you know, when we get screw it, I'll say it. When we get brainwashed by the rhetoric used by team officials, and we hear things that allow us to cope with our feelings a little bit easier, that's just the easy way out. Like that's the medicine that we take to deal with the loss. Mm-hmm. Oh, you know, we were so close this year. We'll be back next year. Of course the team is going to say that. They trying to make you feel better about buying tickets next year.
And they know how bad the AFC East is.
Right. Right. It ain't going to be that much better next year. In fact, it's probably going to be worse. Tyrod Taylor is trash. That's a victory for Key. That's a victory for Key.
W. That's a W.
You want to eat that W, bro? You want to get there? There you go. There you go.
Eat that W. I probably should have did that.
You know what I'm saying? But that's where it gets frustrating for me because it's like, yo, you don't have a brain of your own. Like you can't process the situation, by yourself and reach your own conclusion after you've looked at all the facts, not just what you were told. You know what I mean?
And you know what's funny? You say that. I ain't even to cut you off, but the point. What is the show called?
This show?
Yeah.
The Post Podium Podcast.
Why is it called that?
Because
the reason why when you said what names we're gonna do, mm-hmm. I said let's do that one because I want to talk about what they don't say
exactly
in the podcast in the press conference. I want to talk about what they meant but they didn't say, the stuff that they left out, and that was the concept behind the name of the show. So yeah, I know there's a little nugget.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, fresh nugget. No, that's exactly right. That's exactly right. We wanted to be able to stand in the gap of interpretation. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And so I think that's why it gets so frustrating because it's like, you know, and I'll take it back to the example that I talked about a few episodes ago. Like when you're able to see things that other people can't see, it's kind of frustrating when you watch them make mistakes based on them seeing things in a way that keeps making them make mistakes. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It hurts a lot. You know, like I think that's the part that I maybe have not communicated enough. Right? Like I probably care more for Bills fans than I do the team. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? I lived through the drought too. Mm-hmm. I got tired of seeing a team benefit and get rich off of people's hopes and dreams. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the part that was mad. And, yeah, they probably had a good time. But they were all drunk. You know what I'm saying? It's easy to forget about what you spent your money on when you just get drunk and you don't remember half of it. Yeah. Only thing you remember in your mind is the good times that you had with the people before the game. And during the game, you were blitzed.
You were like, we were at a game?
Right.
I don't think that happened.
Right. You know, so, again, this is my observation. I have a passion for protecting my folk, and the best way that I see to do that is to give you guys the information to try and make things clear so that you can see where you're being deceived. If you don't see that or you don't agree with it, okay, look, not everybody takes the blue pill. You know what I'm saying? And again, I don't mean that in a disrespectful way. That's not to say that you guys are, choosing death or choosing something bad. You're just choosing to be in a different place. Mm-hmm. And that's a very nice way of me saying it. Again, I'm trying to be more politically correct with the stuff that I'm saying. I'm trying to be nicer.
Very good.
I appreciate that. Moving right along.
But I did want to touch on something. Oh man,
there's a couple of questions here. Yeah,
it was a statement that really did it for me.
Sure.
Where is it? I didn't know we were getting there. Thomas, he said, Brady. We're going back to what you said about the way the offense is run, why they run more. Which I was thinking, and I read the comment that he said, it's because Brady knows he has 4. That. In itself, and who was it that that did the super chat, because I don't want to disregard your question, but we talked about the Cook thing in depth, like in the beginning of the show. I don't know if you missed that or not, but after this show, rewind it and you'll hear a lot more thought on James Cook signing his $15 million. But no, I think to the comment about Brady knowing he has 4. I want to see what Brady wants to do it for. What kind of exotic look? Because at this point, it's an all-out audition. He already told you what his price is. Spirit being in that we have a number, they have a number, we have to make sure it's fair for them and fair for it. No. James Cook, I don't give a damn about your fairness. This is what I want. Yeah. My service come at this premium. Sure, I'm highballing, we got to negotiate, but at the same time, it better be close. And that's fair. And that's very fair. And the thing is, have we unlocked all he has to offer? That's another question you have to ask yourself. Maybe he doesn't run 200 times a game. Maybe he doesn't, or 200 times a season. Maybe he doesn't receive 80 times like McCaffrey. But can he? And how many game-breaking plays will he have? He's like, I'm betting on myself. Yeah. I showed you what I can do. And more you let me do, because in the back of his mind, he's like, yo, what if I wouldn't have had 4 carries in the first half of that Chiefs game? What do you think would have happened? I would have got busy. So he's like, all right, pay me, because you know what I can do. So I think for Brady, and that's something to watch too. If Brady leaves after this year, James Cook's a free agent. Does he go with him? That's something you got to look at. Who goes with Brady that can go after this year if he decides to get a head coaching job?
Yeah. They're like not even. You know what? That's something good to think about. Who else could the Bills go and get now?
For what?
If Brady were to get a head coaching job.
Oh, I have no. I wouldn't even know.
Isn't that kind of crazy? Like all of the, and I guess this is probably the most frustrating part about having a defensive head coach. That has a defense that doesn't perform well is your offense is leading the charge. Mm-hmm. So what are you supposed to do when that guy gets, you know what I mean? I don't know.
I mean, to your point with regards to that, the normal conventional thinking is the defensive coordinator or defensive head coach, whatever your specialty is, can do more with less. Yeah. And in this regard, we've given this coach a lot of money to work with. Yeah. And your defense isn't even close to the creme de la creme. Your defense isn't even close to formidable. Your defense isn't even close to being a game breaker. Your defense is a sieve. That's what it is. When people say if Josh Allen gets hurt, we're screwed anyway, that shouldn't just be a foregone conclusion.
Right.
You're gonna win some, you're gonna lose some, because your defense should step up at some point. But this defense here, I don't see it. This defense here is not creative. This defense here isn't. They're not innovative. They're not technically sound. They're not not want to say talented. I'll stop sort of saying that, but they're not athletic. You don't have any. There's nobody in this defense that really strikes fear in anybody's heart. And when you say Greg Rousseau was the Keon Coleman of the defense. What I mean by that is, in and of himself, he's very limited, but what he can do well. But you can't ask him to do everything because he doesn't have that skill set. Yep. So I think you need to find somebody, whether it be Shamar Stewart from Texas A&M, whether it be Kenneth Grant from Michigan, whether it be one of those kind of players, a game breaker. You have to start getting game breakers because Josh Allen was 30 next year. James Cook may not be here next year. Khalil Shakir may not be here next year. Yep. And now you're in a world of hurt because your defense is still $180 million. It's still, because you still got Von Miller's contract because you pushed the money down the line. And people still don't understand what that means. We can still restructure. I can create $40 million. I can too. But guess what? I'm not going to try to pay my credit card off while putting money on my credit card. That's what you're doing. I'm just going to keep putting money on the card I'm never going to pay off, and I'm never going to see the benefit of a non-payment cycle.
Right.
But right. I'm not getting anything out of it, and that's what we're looking at with this defense. It's like I think they thought that McDermott could just build a defense from sand and make concrete out of it, when in actuality we knew years ago that's not possible. Yeah. When they realize it, we'll be fine.
I've been very backed up in the chat because I be trying to like save comments and keep them in my head so I can get to them. Because no, it's not true. I'm saying that to say I'm way behind. I'm noticing how behind I am with all these comments, because this is all stuff that I didn't already talked about we moved on from that conversation, and I'm coming back and I'm looking, oh, they said that about something I said 20 minutes ago. But yeah, so I mean, Sweat, you right. He says, FYI, we both agreed to continue to drink the trust the process Jim Jones juice. We did. I posted something on Twitter and he commented, and I was like, we can't let people see us saying this stuff publicly. We gotta seem like we still trying to fit in with everybody else. I'm trying to be more politically correct. I'm trying to, you know what I'm saying? I'm trying to be a little bit nicer. Mm-hmm. And yeah, Laura, we got rid of the Temu cords. They gone. So one of the things I did want to address before we get out of here, I know Spin was talking about the special teams, like the coverage aspect of special teams and how it wasn't that great. When I was talking to Damaris about it, one of the things that we talked about or one of the things that we said that we both agreed on was when you think about getting rid of a coordinator, it's usually because whatever he was responsible for was losing you games, right? And I understand the idea of wanting to improve, but traditionally, Sean McDermott is a head coach that is very patient with guys. Look at Elam. You know what I'm saying? If he wasn't patient, that dude would have been gone a long time ago. But instead, he kept his first-round pick around for 4 years. To the point that where he has no value whatsoever now. Nope. You know what I'm saying? So when I'm looking at that and then I'm looking at what happened with Smiley, I even though the coverage team might not have been that great, it didn't lose him any games.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like there were no late game situations where you looked at the special teams and was just like, wow. Like, yo, they cost us that game big time. You know what I mean? Then I would have looked at that firing as, okay, well, he kind of earned that. You know what I mean? But I guess that's where I'm coming from. Like, it's not egregious. And if it's not egregious, then firing a guy after, 2 years?
Right. After other worse years.
Yeah.
Much worse years.
He actually improved and you still got him. Like, that's crazy. That's the crazy part to me. All right, so.
I had
go ahead.
I had a thought.
Yeah.
Jermaine Pratt once out of Cincinnati.
Really?
Yeah, he asked for a trade.
Why?
It's Cincinnati. I guess nobody wants to be there.
Well, okay. So if I'm Jermaine Pratt, what is he thinking? He's thinking T. Higgins is gone. He's now the number 2 there. It's got to be something personal. They've got a good quarterback. You know what? It might be winning. It might be winning because the owner's been clearly made it clear he doesn't want to spend the money. They say they want to pay Jamar Chase, but they don't really want to pay. You know what I mean? In their mind, we got Joe Burrow. We have an attraction to sell tickets. So now we can just charge whatever we want for the circus, the dog and pony show, and if we make a few playoff games here and there, we're good.
We're good to go. Get them drinking.
So it would make more sense that it's about winning for him. He wants to go to a team and actually win. Hendrickson wants out of there now. You know what I mean? They lost their defensive coordinator. Their defense already wasn't that great. They weren't really investing in defensive players to begin with. Yeah, he probably sees it coming apart, and that's why he wants to get out. I don't blame him, but I mean, he's a big 6'3" guy, isn't he?
He's a big dude. So
would you take him?
My thought process is, this is where they're going to cancel me. Matt Milano for Jermaine Pratt.
Ooh, I would take that.
I would take that.
I would take that in a minute.
I would take that as well. See, the thought process is you have somebody that's bigger, that's more aggressive, that's more physical to go with Terrell Bernard. You're not playing Dorian Williams for whatever reason. And if they do decide to go to a 4-3, now you got your will, you got your strong, you got your middle. So, I think in a perfect world, Jermaine Pratt would make some sense, especially if you're talking about getting, some cap relief, because I think Pratt's cap number is like $7 million. So obviously some of Milano's would stay and all that. I didn't do the math on all that, but they're both expiring contracts after the season, with Pratt being a $7 million cap hit and Milano being 14. So you're probably looking at a savings of maybe $3 or $4 million, which as opposed to cutting somebody, you can get a player for them. If you can parlay a late round draft pick either way, let's go.
Kev likes the trade. He said perfect trade. Spin says, yeah, but they lose the players and don't keep them when does Burrow start demanding a trade? Yeah, I agree with that. See, I do read your comments.
I was about to say, you can't agree with Spin. This is the first.
No, listen, again, I'm trying to be PC as much as I can.
He wants you to tangent. He said tangent.
Right, that is what he wants. That's what he wants every time.
No, but I think that's the thing. They wrap Burrow up for for whatever his contract was, and now they got him. Now we got you.
So he's still on his rookie contract, right?
Is he? Did they extend him or no? I don't even know. But if he signs, he's done. I can look it up.
Okay.
If he signs, he's done.
He says, so Spin says, LOL, I never said you don't read my comments. I said not to read my comments. So, okay. All right. I'll ignore all of them from now on. You're going to have to super chat your way into this one.
Joe Burrow did get extended. He's extended to 29.
Burrow?
Yep.
Okay, where's Burton?
Burton.
I'm sorry, is that the receiver's name? Jermaine?
Oh, Pratt? You talking about the linebacker?
Pratt. I'm sorry, Pratt. Jermaine Pratt. I just wanted to know if he was still on his rookie contract.
No. No. They just signed him before last season, I believe. This is his last year, I believe. Yep. So he's at 7.9 mil cap hit.
Oh, I didn't know he was that old though.
He's 2 years younger than Milano, and it's 1 year.
He's younger than Milano though.
And it's 1 year.
Yeah, but don't we want a number one though? I mean, if we make this trade, he's gonna come in and do what? Mac Hollins' position?
No. You're talking about linebacker.
Oh, Jermaine Pratt's a linebacker.
Yeah.
I thought he was a receiver. Bro.
No, I wouldn't do that.
I'm so sorry. Isn't there receiver? There's the
Jermaine Burton.
Yeah. That's why I said Burton. I'm thinking about the receiver, Jermaine Pratt. No, so in fantasy, he was awesome this year.
Mm-hmm.
Jermaine Pratt.
Yeah, I wanted him when he was a free agent. I really wanted him.
Okay. Now we're on the same page here because I was thinking about the receiver.
From Alabama. Yep, that's the receiver.
Jermaine Burton. There you go. Okay, that's why I was confused. All right.
No, Pratt. Yeah, he rips it up. I mean, Milano has I think 3 more interceptions than Pratt does, but Pratt also has about 7 more fumbles forced and 3 more recoveries than Milano. The tackles are pretty close. We're going to talk about who played more games, whatever. But the case is this guy here is what you want. And if you're trying to what Rex Ryan said, build a bully.
Steve said Aramis needs some milk. Probably. I'm breaking down over here, man. It's been a day.
He needs some milk.
Yeah. Kev says still perfect trade. I agree with that. I would take that. That gives me a dependable linebacker that is not as oft injured as Milano is.
Right.
I'm not. I don't know. Would you, if you're the Bengals, would you take that?
If he wants out and you can get a shot at Milano. I mean, I'm not sure what the state of their defense, what their scheme is, but if you can get a healthy Milano for a year, which is what I think it would amount to, you could try it out. At least get something back for a guy who doesn't want to be there anyway.
Right.
Former All-Pro. Why not?
Yeah. All right. You got anything else before we jump out the window?
I mean, the only thing I have is if we go ahead and trade Burton to Cincinnati for Matt Milano, what do you think they would do if we threw in some Reeves T with that Milano trade? Would they give us? They give us a
first round pick.
Now a third?
No, a first round pick, bro.
A first round pick? Okay.
Reeves T's immediately and automatically first round pick.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm good
I mean, I would. I know I would.
I know. Stay hydrated.
Like,
speaking of hydration, go ahead.
Chat. Has anybody tried the tea yet? Like, what are we doing? Somebody tell me if they tasted the tea already. We didn't drink the thing on the show. Like, it's up on the TV.
Took it to the crib.
Yo, it is life-changing tea.
No,
it's really life-changing tea.
My question is, I'm 40. I'm 6'6", 270, 275, somewhere in there. How much water does one have to drink in a day? I mean, you talking about I'm swigging water like it's no tomorrow these days, and I'm surprised I made it through a 2 hour and 15 minute show without having to get up and walk past you. Because I drink 2 of these a day, and I drink 2 50s a day.
Jeez.
Yeah, so that's like 168 ounces of water a day.
You know there's a such thing as dead water?
Yeah, I think I have it.
Yeah, there are some water companies out there that they're selling you dead water. Do the research on that.
Yeah,
if you're interested.
I mean, water to me, I drink so much water now. I gotta drink some juice or something like that to chase it, because the water does nothing for me anymore. Yeah. And I can't have Gatorade or anything like that on this diet. Thanks, T.
I can promise you, there's no dead water in Reed's tea though.
There is no dead water in Reed's tea, and after a whole 30 diet, I might go get me some Reed's tea. Why? Because it's refreshing, it's delicious, and it keeps me healthy 2 times. That's what I can expect when I go get that case, not the individual Reed's tea. I don't drink tea, but let me tell you, I might start now because that's a good drink. What are you doing? Head over to Reed's, get yourself a supply by the individual or the case. Why would you get the case, or why would you get the individual? Get the case. Trust me, you won't be disappointed.
You will not be disappointed.
What do I do? See for yourself, though. Reed's tea. Click the link in the description and use the code PostPodiumPodcast. Let them know who sent you.
What? Steve said, wonder if tea got poured on the equipment. No, it did not. No, no. Because everything is working so well, I mean, that would make sense because the tea is that magical. But, you know.
We is the tea from Loca now.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have a third arm. So, no, it's not.
Nobody wants to hear about your third arm, Keyshawn.
I mean, third arm, it's food. Pull up my team. Beth, have a good one.
Yes, Beth, ain't seen you in a minute. What's up? Spin says, how do we check the pulse to see if our water is dead or not? Well, I mean, you just said it. You got to check the pulse. No, in all seriousness, though, seriously, do the research. There's a such thing as dead water. There's a couple of prominent water companies that their water is considered dead water. So dead water is like it doesn't hydrate you at all. There's no hydration factor to it.
Yeah, they doctor it to the point where you just go get a water hose. Go hook it up to the spigot behind somebody's house and just have at it like we did as a kid. Yeah, the rustier the pipe, the better. I'm sure there's asbestos somewhere, but it's fine.
That's it.
I can still see.
Yeah. And you know what's funny? Like all the filtering and all that kind of stuff, all the minerals, like our body is built to fight that stuff off. Right, yeah. Right. That's how you develop an immune system. Yep. Why do you think people get sick so much nowadays?
Yeah, it's
crazy.
Bad. We soft.
Oh, Beth says third leg. What?
Third arm. Third arm.
Okay. All right. We got to jump. Yeah, that's right, Nate. We need minerals in that water, man. Let it or unleaded. Right. All right. So let me get this music going. I could be here all night with you guys. This is a blast. I love doing this.
This is fun.
All right, here we go. Okay, if you're hearing that music, that means it's time for us to, yes, Roy, jump out the window, and I know it ain't Russia. But look, if you enjoyed today's episode, if you enjoyed just being here talking with us and sharing this time, first and foremost, thank you. Secondly, please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. I mean, it's free.
$99. Free $99.
Free $99, right? But there's also that little bell up there, right? You can hit that bell, make that thing
ring-a-ling-a-ling,
so that you can get notifications when we send notifications. Like, as I said earlier in this episode, Tuesday I will be letting you guys know when the new show is going to debut on the new network, Buffalo Media Network. Okay, we are still going to have this channel, but for the off season, we're going to be going down to one show. So we're going to do a show on Monday, and then I'll make the announcement on Tuesday when our other show is going to debut on Buffalo Media Network. So we'll still be doing 2 shows a week, just be probably different days. Unless you want to do the same day. It's up to you.
We'll talk. Probably the same day.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing that you guys could do, if you want to support, if you want to see us be able to do bigger and better things here on the show, is you can do super chats. There's that option, right? There's also our memberships. Okay. I know we've had oh man, I appreciate that, bro. Thank you. OLI is not here, so we can get away with that as much as we want.
Try to do it when you're talking so they don't hear the script.
Yeah. I appreciate that. So listen, memberships are a big deal right now. Okay, I've not seen this with any other show, network, anything like that. If you want to come onto the show live and just chill with us, if you're a member, you can do that. If you burn in on something and you say, "Hey, look, can y'all do an impromptu show? I'm trying to get this done." If we can schedule it and we can work it out, we gonna work it out, right? That's how we roll. You know what I mean? We love doing this just for the fact of doing this, okay? But as a member, you get that benefit if that's what you want to do. If you just want to get on and vent, that's cool too. That's how we roll. So go check that stuff out. It's on the YouTube channel. Merch. If you want to rock the merch, if you want to help out that way and support the show that way, that merch is available. Link is in the description of the video. Reese T-Chat link is in the description of the video. Everything you need in terms of being able to support is all in the description of the video. So go there right now. Do that. All right? This has been the Post Podium Podcast, home of the all truth, no sodium takes. I have been your co-host, Aramis.
Happy Valentine's Day. 40. What did I say? 40 keys. But
40
what did I
keys.
say? Oh, 40. Yeah, I don't know. Whatever. We'll just leave it there.
Okay. Happy Valentine's Day, of course. Once again, last Friday show. So we will see you guys Monday live, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Be there, be square, y'all. Peace.
Deuces.